good things come to an end. Now, this is also a double-edged sword because we've all at one point said, oh man, I wish that didn't end. I wanted more. And with just a bit more things added or tweaked or changed, it would be perfect. In reference to either a game or a show or a good book, whatever it is, we've
He's
all
right.
wanted it to continue. But truly, all good things do come to an end. Case in point, The Walking Dead. Started off strong, kept people interested for a few seasons, then as it went on, it became monotonous and tiresome, and it lost its charm with no end in sight. The writing each season had to be structured in a way that allows for a never-ending story. And what started off as originally a pretty great story ended up leaving fans dissatisfied, maybe even resenting the time they spent watching the show, and the same can be true with gaming. If The Witcher 3 or BioShock or Fallout New Vegas didn't come to an end, they wouldn't be remembered for being these legendary games that they are. Players might have resented it or become disinterested, like with The Walking Dead. You either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain. Which is the problem with live service gaming, especially MMO games or story-driven looters. There's usually three outcomes with these games. Either you stick around forever, you walk away upset you wasted so much time and money on it, you're pissed you wasted so much time and money on it, but you're already so invested that you feel like you must stick around. You have to see it through. And this is what's known as sunk cost fallacy. And game studios spend millions trying to figure out just how to exploit that weakness we all have. Like Bungie Studios, who despite trying to appear like this super progressive, forward-thinking company, hires several behavioral psychologists to aid in creating ways to exploit things like players' fear of missing out. So when Bungie goes out of their way to make a mental health resources tab on their website, it feels a little bit performative when they actively spend millions on ways to exploit players' addictive tendencies, create anxiety from FOMO-heavy game design, which then leads to burnout. Three things Bungie apparently wants to help you fight against.
You know, I'm starting to believe these guys don't actually give a shit about their player base.
Nope. Don't care.
Developers used to think about creating something that would satisfy the player, but now they are being guided to create experiences where satisfaction is just out of reach. And then they've got a cash shop whispering in your ear, buying this might fill that void. But it doesn't because it's not supposed to. The game isn't supposed to ever fulfill you. It's supposed to string you along forever. But the thing is, it's harder to get sick of something that ends. It's not impossible, AC Valhalla, but it's a lot harder. You know, there's a certain feeling of accomplishment when you actually complete something, and live service will never give you that feeling. Again, the carrot will dangle forever. There's a reason so many times you'll hear the sentiment of, this game feels like a job. A full-time job that you don't get paid for. In fact, you pay them, like a dumbass. Because just like a real job, you might only enjoy it some of the time, but most of the time you just do it because you feel like you must play, so you don't miss out on finishing the battle pass, or you gotta go grind some specific items before they get removed in a few months. And also like a full-time job, you're on their schedule. You can't play at your
Oh, I
own
went to the
pace
wrong...
when you want to because
Actually, I don't know. I
there's
probably
no
mind playing this. Yeah,
expiration date
that's alright.
on items
I'm
to
rested.
earn or content to play. It all has a countdown applied to it. And content gets drip-fed slowly over time rather than all at once. So you're going to be either waiting around or hurrying to catch up. And this is why you're often punished for taking a break in these games. And if it's a PvP game like Apex or Fortnite, good luck trying to return to these games after taking a few months off.
No, I'm not in the mind to play this character. I'm going to switch to a different one.
The game is filled with players who did not take a break, makes your chance of winning or even standing a chance at winning pretty low. Unless you start grinding it like a full-time job again.
Yeah.
What this means for a lot of players is you're locked into one, maybe two live service games because there's only...
Actually, I think I want to get back on that character, yeah, and warp her to a village. I don't know how the rest of it works, but I don't think it's good when you're out in the field.
Having FOMO in these games isn't just so you keep buying their content, but to actively keep you away from the competition. It's designed so that you don't play any game but this one. Not because it's so good, but because they give you too many reasons to be scared of leaving. So you can see the potential problem with companies chasing the live service game trend. The market is already very oversaturated, and it's hard enough to juggle the time between any of these games for a lot of players. So for a new live service to release, it has to be absolutely incredible in order to pull players away from what they're already invested in. Now, the problem here is, most of them aren't incredible, or even good for that matter, because they were solely created to chase that trend. Now, the result of this are countless live service games getting
That sucks.
mere months after release, even though there's been plenty of fans that have spent hundreds, if not thousands, on in-game purchases. Games that might have otherwise been pretty decent if they had focused on what made sense for the concept, rather than shoehorn in the live service elements.
Excuse me. Like, you know what I kind of want to do? No, and also I need to check and see if this game is coming through badly. Is it? Oh, it is. I'm so sorry. I'll fix it, guys. I don't know why this stupid-ass Streamlabs is so bad, but it is. I'll fix it. I wonder if the Fortnite was bad, too. It probably was. God damn game capture bullshit. Come on, man. I should just not use display adapter at all. I don't know. Please drag it down. Alright, well, at least it's better now, and I don't know. I don't know why Streamlabs doesn't work for me, you know? I should go on Streamlabs' Discord. Just like, I need help. Like, I'm getting this thing where, like, fucking the display adapter is just bad. And it's, like, affecting my career. It's fucking annoying. Oh, yeah, so I was gonna warp. Yeah. Oh, I live in Winsford, yeah. Why? Okay, I guarantee the display adapter works fine for most of the world, but it doesn't work for me for some reason. I don't know why. Alright, good. Now that we're in town, right? Yeah. Dynamite Black. Alright, main menu. There we are, much better. And we'll switch over to my main, which I have not played in a long time. And, let's see, continue. Where is that? It's going to be west. Yeah. Okay. And hello, everybody. I see you, by the way. It's good. So... Oh no, my shit's full, huh? Oh no, it's not bad, huh? Okay. I have 22,000 gold, which is cool. I mean, that's not too bad. Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. All that stuff, huh? I'm just gonna dump it into my shit? Yes, you are. None of that stuff sold, huh? Oh, I'm sad. I really spent quite a lot of time on that. But I also did sell a lot, though. I sold a lot, though. No. Look, it's going up. I am collecting sales that I haven't looked at in like 2 months. Look at it. It's going up. It's going to go up for a long time. Oh, yeah. Give me some money now. Yeah. Cha-ching. 24,688. Was that everything? Nope. 100 gold for ancient bearings. Oh, man. I'm going to be really full. But it's going to be sweet. Look, 25,000. Look at this money go up. Yeah. I mean, what am I going to do with this money? I guess you're supposed to buy trophies, I guess. And I guess I've got to really carefully fucking follow a trophy guide, which I really didn't like that. But I mean, maybe now it'll be cheap. I don't think this is that much money in the scheme of things. I think people have hundreds of thousands of gold now. But I mean, like, oh yeah, oh good, yeah, and also buy orders are coming back. Yeah, all the buy orders that wow, how fascinating that experience is. It's just all that's cool that I finally did get my auctions completely empty because it's never been empty since I started the character. The auctions last for a while, 2 weeks. 14 days is pretty good. Oh my god, I'm like 600 pounds over the bank weight. Excuse me, just ate. It's going up, 26. Sweet. I should spend some money on repair. I guess this is just going to keep running, huh? Yeah, it is. Is it just going to keep running or what? Yeah, it does. Or do I have to go to the bank to do all that, or did you finally end? I think you finally ended, huh? Okay. Oh, it ended right at the end there. Okay. Well, so now we've got an abundance of stuff to Oh no, this server died though. This server is fucking dead. Of course. Man, I don't know. I kind of wish I could transfer off to Lilith, but I can't. And I don't even know if I can make another character there, I think. And it's so annoying, because that character is like a fucking hardcore character. And look at all this work that I did that amounted to nothing at all. Are you gonna, like, dump all this loot? Yeah, storage fit. Yeah, what happens when your storage is full? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's a great character, but it feels like there's nowhere else to take this character. The only thing left to do is grind the eye level to 625 on the gear. But the two weapons that I cared about, I maxed out to 625. And I don't often do gear score grinds like this, you know? It's not my style anymore. So I don't know. Some of the stuff is lower. There's work to be done here, and it does show. When you do the work on it, and stuff, it shows. Your character does get stronger. But it's like, I don't know, man. Like, I mean, it is a lot of eye level we're talking about here. Like my actual gear. Oh, well, no, I mean, my expertise is 605, which is actually like pretty fucking high. I think 625 is the highest you can go. So I'm only 20 eye level under the max, and the max is actually kind of a big deal. So this character is like maxed out, kind of. And I guess, like, I don't know. She has such good stuff, but I think she's going to come of really good value eventually in like 5 years. But right now, I'm like, I don't know. And I didn't make the sales that I thought I would either. I guess everybody quit the game that day. The same day that I quit, I think they all quit too, because I was making like crazy sales up until that day that I quit. And the day I quit, I remember I posted all of this stuff, and I think everybody quit the server that day. The minute I stopped showing up on this server, look, it's not. It's just that New World died, kind of. It died down. It's not dead, but it's like died down. And this, it's funny because that's my area code, and I really wonder. I wonder if he's native, if he's Colorado native. I mean, look at all this good stuff she has, but it's like, I don't know, man. I think I'll start over a hardcore character on Lilith. But it's like, I don't know if I have the slot. I think they're gonna fuck me on the slots. And I like this character, but it's not like she's going anywhere. For like, one of the things they promised us is they were like, once you buy New World, you have it forever. And we might charge you for an expansion, but it won't be for a while, and it won't be very much. And it was like, okay. But now I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, the character slots are like kind of irking me a little bit, man. Because I know Lilith is on fire. It's where the entire community went. Oh, good. Look, hey, they'll let me do a slot. which is good. And I'll do weapons that I haven't done before. Like I'll make a mage. I haven't done a mage ever. So what's that? That's like void and fire and ice. I'll do void, or no, I guess it's like life staff. It's like life staff and fire, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, life staff and fire, I guess. Yeah, Lilith, right? Yeah, online friends. Yeah, suck world. Does this game even have a friends list? Do friends lists exist anymore? I mean, I don't use friends lists. It's kind of funny. Wait. Oh my god, you're gonna do this like fucking intro? No. Oh baby, you're hot. Let me tell you, you're looking so much like a man. Let me tell you. Oh, send the baldy back. It's kind of raunchy. Get the hair on, you know. I'm sorry. I don't have like a I have no issue being attracted to a bald woman. It's that they look like a man, which I do have an issue being attracted to somebody who looks like a man. I'm sorry, but you know. I mean, it's such loud hair. So, I mean, Jesus. I don't know. I think that's what I always do. I don't really like that one, and a lot of them are too hipster, and some of them are really weird because they kind of appear to be like African in origin. See it? Which is fine, but when it's like red, it's sort of jarring and weird. I mean, it's fine, yeah. But I want this character to look like a normal character, so. But I mean, you can't see their heads anyways. They wear armor all the time. I want to roll a light-geared mage, I think. And I don't want to do Void Gauntlet. But I don't know. It's kind of not very realistic to not use a melee weapon. So I might have to go. I might go, instead of doing Life Staff, I'll just sit Void Gauntlet. And I'll get really good at it, I think. So, but you don't get a Void Gauntlet for a long fucking time. Maybe I can just send the money from my hardcore character or something. I don't think you can trade in this game, which is so stupid. It's such not really an MMO, not really. I like her, she's cute, but I'm easy. I'm easy to please. I'm just like, all right, fire it off. Let's go. Let's get it done. But I mean, I guess I could work on her more, but I don't think there's anything here that I want, you know? I mean, that looks interesting to me, but it also looks like she's just like she was standing on the side of the road and somebody like sprayed mud. You know, I don't really understand it. I don't think so. No. Oh wait, did you put one on? No, I don't want anything. Yeah, I mean, like that could work. That has mystique. Like she maybe took a scratch to the eye, I guess. So it works. But I mean, you don't ever see her fucking face anyway. So whatever. I didn't like that part of it. You really don't see your character's face at all. World of Warcraft did that much better, like 20 years ago. These faces are nondescript to me and not very. They don't stand out almost at all. Body type should be well, yeah, but like there's no body difference either, which is also really odd. In terms of character creators, this is like the worst character creator I've almost ever used. And I never really noticed it before, but I do now. There's almost like no. There's like no real. This is frankly horrible. I have a female character, but all of the men's mustaches are popping for facial hair. And I mean, I don't really understand why it's not just grayed out. But I mean, I guess if you want a beard on a woman, that's fine. I'm just saying, like, it's weird that it's an option, sort of. I mean, that looks dope, I guess. Can we get it, like, louder? Yeah, sure. You don't let me have that one, huh? Because it's taken, huh? Yeah, by me. Uh, and that one's taken by me. No, that one's open. I'll take it. All right, sweet. Yeah, it's fine. I really don't care. You don't ever see their faces, anyways. I mean, maybe you do, but she looks fine to me. She looks cool. Yeah. And this character's fun because I don't have to worry about hardcore shit and I can just actually kill stuff really fast. I don't care about this. Get me out of it. Go, go. Yep, let's go. What are you doing? You seem like you're just black screened. Oh, modern service games. Let's go back to this guy ragging on live service games for like fucking 21 minutes.
This is probably the biggest problem I
I'm
have
in
with
queue is why.
seasons, battle passes, cash shops. These three things have replaced traditional progression systems that used to keep players like myself around on a game for ages. I think about the original COD games from COD 4 through Black Ops 2, or Halo 3 or Gears of War. These games have progression systems that revolved around unlocking good-looking cosmetics or earning prestigious items through the gameplay experience. In fact, Call of Duty games had a literal prestige system that gave you a new icon next to your gamer tag each time you reset your rank, and you unlock extra custom class slots, among other things. It would also work towards things like pro perks that would be unlocked by completing various challenges while using those specific perks. Camos and skins that would unlock from XP and challenges completed with specific weapons. And in Black Ops 1, there were even COD points that were actual in-game currency. Not a premium currency like the COD points are today, but in-game money you earn through playing. And that could be used to buy and unlock.
I hate this scene.
And one of the coolest parts about COD points was that you could gamble them in wager matches. Gun game, one in the chamber, sticks and stones. Now these are badass ways to progress in a game and engage players long term without the need of drip feeding content or purchasing a battle pass. And the thing is, because the in-game progression was so engaging, many players like myself did not hesitate one bit to drop $15 for a new map pack that would release every few months. The core game's foundation was so strong that map packs only added to the already great experience. Now you compare that to the Call of Duty of today, where almost all forms of in-game progression are completely gone, like prestige, pro perks, in-game currency, and has been completely replaced by battle passes and the cash shop. Sure, the content post-launch is free, but if you pay attention to some content, you know just how much bullshit they feed you with that promise. For one thing, Call of Duty games now launch with far less content than they used to. A game like Black Ops 2 launched with 15 multiplayer maps, and after its 4 map packs, there were a total of 31 maps, and zombie maps and weapons and camos and things like that as well. But with the latest Modern Warfare 2, it launched with 10 maps, and has since reskinned 3 maps from previous older CODs, and only added 2 new ones, making its total 15 so far, which is pretty pitiful, because that's what Black Ops 2 started off with. So not only are we getting much less content, probably content that was cut from the base game and just drip fed over time to be honest, but the progression systems have been replaced with $10 battle passes and $20 cosmetic bundles. And I don't know about you, but I'd rather spend $30 to get 8 maps, a new weapon, a couple zombie maps, than to spend $30 on a new Black Cell Battle Pass bundle. And this same example can be applied when comparing any modern day live service to the version of themselves from the past. So when players say something like, hey, just ignore the cash shop, or you don't have to buy the battle pass, the problem is that these systems have overridden in-game progression systems entirely. So you either ignore them and have nothing to work towards or unlock, or you go ahead and buy into the systems, which are objectively less engaging than previous systems, and only keep you around because there's an expiration date attached to it. You're playing more out of FOMO than enjoyment of the progression experience itself, because games are now solely designed around FOMO and whales. And that's what I think so many people fail to realize. You can't just ignore the fact that a game is missing content in its progression system in order to foster a life with illegal levels and FOMO elements baked into every single element of the experience. And this is why From Software games are the antidote to this poisonous design philosophy, which is why their games are so popular. Their communities aren't just made up of only elitist, sweaty tryhards like so many names tend to think. It's made up of people who love video games. Because when you get invaded, or you see another player briefly at a bonfire, when you see their weapon, their helmet, their armor piece, whatever it is, you know that that item is obtainable in the game today, tomorrow, next week, forever. And you're going to get it through completing some type of challenge or encounter. And it's exciting to see things you've never seen before, because maybe you thought you'd seen everything this game had to offer, but there's always more than you think. And then you uncover and explore areas that you never thought. When you compare that to your average live service game like Destiny 2 where there's so many other players in the world, you might see something cool like you've never seen before, but that item most likely came from a battle pass or a bright engram, or more likely, the cash shop. And I don't know about you guys, but I hate being reminded of battle passes and cash shops in a world I'm trying to immerse myself in. It completely kills the experience, the same way it would be if I saw cash shop items in Dark Souls. Now, FOMO tactics and cash shops won't work on everyone, because a lot of people realize that they're just running on a hamster wheel at some point, and decide to hop off and find experiences that still deliver an actual video game. There's a reason Elden Ring, again, sold more copies than a lot of these live service companies can even fathom. It has all the cosmetics, all the progression systems, and all the content. In not one single battle pass.
It's genius.
And the best part, DLC is on the way, and that's going to be a day one purchase for most of those satisfied 20 million customers.
Fuck yeah.
As has been the case with all previous From Software games and their DLCs. Because making a good game will net positive results. It really is that simple. But that takes talent and a bit of risk. So even with all these live service games flopping left and right, these corporations will continue to invest in them until one of them sticks, and then they will milk it till the end of time. And as much as I wish I could agree with others who say that live service games are just a fad, I just don't think that's true, as far as at least multiplayer games are concerned. Remember that McDonald's example I made in the beginning of the video? Well, we live in a world now where that's the reality with gaming. If McDonald's will charge $30 for a measly burger that's drip-fed to you slowly over time, you know, today you get the bun, tomorrow you get the patty, next week you get the mustard and the pickles. What can you do at that point? Well, I guess you would go to the competition, right? But what happens when the competition is charging the same price for all their burgers too? Well, you either pay $30.
I mean, it is kind of like the burgers are like $13 now. It used to be $5.75 for so long. For like, okay, it's weird for the kids. It's weird for them. But I think they're used to like fucking $10 meals, $13 meals, and that's not like that much money to them. But that would have been 2 Big Mac meals about 10 years ago. It would have been about 2, it would have been a little less than 2 Big Mac meals. Now it's like less than 1. And that's the difference. That's what they did to the kids. They just charged them like 150% more for everything on the planet. And I don't really understand that. The inflation got up to, I mean, it's just crazy. I don't know.
Burger.
Yeah, like, okay, like I think right now, like, okay, it used to be if you wanted to take somebody to lunch, like, hey, you like a girl and you want to take her out and you want to take her to like Chipotle for lunch and you're going to college with her and stuff. And it used to be like that when I went to school. It was like $13 for 2 big burritos, you know, the kind of Chipotle have. Because Chipotle comes from my town. They like originate from Denver, Colorado. So like Chipotle was like a cultural fucking thing for us. There was a reason that South Park like talked about them so much, because Chipotle was like a really big deal back in my, you know, where I come from. And so, you know, like going out back then, like to feed 2 people, it was like $13, you know. It was not even. It was like $10.50. It was like, or a little bit more than that. It was like $11.50. It was like $11.50. I know because the meals at the Wendy's, they were like $5 for single, $6 for double, $7.95 for triple. You know, so 2 triple I'm talking meals, like the fries, the burgers, and the drinks, were like $14. And now it's like $14 for 1, you know? And I mean, fast food prices aren't a good way to like really measure it all, because they're going through a whole bunch of supply chain stuff that isn't really, you know, doesn't really give us a very fair read on it. I don't know what else you would say, except for like, okay, when I was growing up, A can of soda almost all my life until I was like 18 years old or something like that was 50 cents max in a soda machine. It was like 50 cents max, and it started until I was like, I don't know, until I was like 9 or 10, I think. It was like 25 cents. Now it's like, what, $2.75 fucking cents. They've been at it. They've been stealing. They've been like robbing kids. Like I talk all the time about how my parents' generation has usually like 2 houses and 5 cars. But I'm not trying to attack them. That's not the spirit of what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that is like 2 houses and 5 car or whatever. You know, it's like it's 2 houses and 5 cars more than most of the I would say 20-year-old kids I know can dream of. They might have a car, but it's because their parents helped them. You know, people my age helped them. So, like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why they decided to start charging like an extra 100% pretty much overnight. Like in the space of 4 years, I remember it went from like you could get a chalupa at Taco Bell. I don't know why fast food prices come up, but it was like so long ago. I was still eating fast food a lot back then, like a lot. Like I pretty much like ate fast food all the time. I wasn't fat, but but I didn't eat it every day either though. So, like, ever. I've never eaten fast food every single day. It's just too expensive. There's just never been that, it's just never been a reality we were lower class for the last, like, 15 years, but before that we were rich. And, well, I've been on my own. I've been on my own for 15 years in the lower class. I mean, I worked at certain periods. I had a job that paid like $30 an hour, but it never lasted longer than like a year. And I did really well in those years, but I mean, it's still I think the best legal money I ever made was It was like $50 an hour. So like I would get these really great fares out to places like Colorado Springs from Denver, from like all kinds of clientele through my drug business and my stripper business. Like, I don't run strippers. I'm just saying I drove strippers, and the strippers knew everybody. If you want to get connected socially in a town, just like date or talk to strippers. They know everybody. So like, and then I got connections that way, and through all the other drug dealer people I knew, and I started working for, it was like $50 an hour for anybody who would pay, and the premise was, I told them, I was like, here's my card. And you call me, and if I'm not on a ride, I will come to you within town within 45 minutes, no matter what, and I will get you where you go, and I don't care what you do. You could fuck the dude in the back seat. I don't care what you do if you tip me commensurately. I don't care what you do, right? And they love this. They're like, I can smoke bowls of meth, and I'm like, yep. Don't give a flying fuck. I'm an Uber driver. I'm not smoking bowls of meth while I'm driving. I almost never got high until towards the end. Towards the end, I started fucking up and kind of getting high and continuing to drive Uber, which I shouldn't have done. But like, it wasn't like I was like, oh, I'm so high, I gotta kill you, or any of this stuff. I'm talking about like 1 hit a day, just so I would wake up, I'm not talking about like, oh, I smoked like 15 bowls while I was driving Uber people around or whatever. I'm talking about like 1 hit in the morning so that I wouldn't be like sick, kind of stuff. Not like getting high all day and all crazy goof and fall while these people get in your car. You're like, hey, how you doing? It was never like that, So, but anyways, so like now I look at it and I'm like, Jesus Christ, like a meal to them is like $47 fucking dollars now. If they want to get like a big fucking burger from a fancy fucking place with a big drink and a dessert and fries and delivery, it's like $47 fucking dollars now. And back then, like, I don't know, maybe about 20 years ago, and of course this is a long time ago, but $47 back then would have bought 5 meals. 5 meals! You know what I'm saying? Something's really wrong now. It's that they just went crazy on the pricing because they can. And they blame it on stupid shit that they cause, like COVID, and say it's a supply chain thing. COVID, you begin to see an actual monetary, and I'm not saying COVID was caused by anybody. I actually don't believe that. It's that there's some kind of monetary incentive to just letting COVID kind of run its course, because they know that they can just name the price on pretty much anything in the fucking world and war profiteer off of it. It's guns, germs, and steel. And they got tired of just guns and steel. So they started fucking with germs, I think. And it really did. It was like pretty much like right about, I'd say, 5 years ago, you would get like a meal for $8.50. Now it's like $13. And that's like almost double. You know, if you could get a meal, I would say about 5 years ago, like I would say for about $9, I would say it was like the average. Now it's like 12. It's like 11 to 13, something like that. It's like 10 to 13, something like that. It's gone up by like a full 20% or something. Inflation is out of fucking hand. It's gotten terrible. And so there's this effect from it where we just don't buy anything at all. Which is actually, like really, I think the only thing they can't stand. They can't stand it when we won't buy anything at all. But if they raise the, I mean, you can't have it both ways. You can't, like, I haven't bought anything in a fucking while. I buy groceries and marijuana and games. And I really wait. I try to wait. I'll steal if I can. I'll do anything to avoid paying. Because I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, the prices that you ask now are off the hook. Like, I'm about to fucking toss down between $100 and $300 for one single game when Starfield hits. And that just stuck in my craw a bit. But I mean, I want their deluxe, you know, fucking crazy collector's edition for that particular game. It doesn't happen very often. But I mean, like, that same value back like 5 years ago would have been like $79. Now it's like 100 to 300 or something like that, and that sucks. You can see it. It's exactly like 20. Everything went up by like 20% in 5 years. That's not too good. Do the math on that. Pretty much everything is impossible to pay for after 5. You know, if it goes up by 20% every 5 years, do the math on that. After 25 years, you know, I mean, what are we paying for a fucking, like, a burger? It's going to be like $47 for the burger at that point. And nothing, I mean, and that sucks. It's like the tick of the rich has sucked all the blood. It doesn't add up, because when you drive across this land, you just see abundance and riches and cars and houses and land and water and animals and food and restaurants and commerce, and definitely fucking cars. Cars as far as the eye can see. Cars and roads as far as the eye can see. And then we get this thing about how, oh, it's like fucking $13 or $14 for one meal now. And then 5 years later, it's like $18 for a meal now. And then 5 years later, it's like $23 for a fucking meal now. And then 5 years later, it's like $28 for a fucking meal now. And people are out there like selling blowjobs for fucking $700 or whatever just to get like fucking meals for the week, you know? And that's what they want. It's not good. It's like, I mean, I don't know, whoever taught these idiots econ did it while they were on cocaine or something. Because, like, I wonder sometimes if all those Yale professors are just like a cocaine ring, because that's kind of what David Icke actually full-blown pretty much confirmed about them. All those Yale and Yale and Skull and Crossbones guys, they're all coke fiends, like all of them. And I wonder sometimes if all of this, they're like coke fiends and child fuckers. It's disgusting. And so, like, I don't know what their fucking vibe is, but they want to, like, raise the prices so that children can't live. Like, it's easier for someone like me who worked for 20 fucking years. I mean, I started working when I was, 13, I think? Yeah, I was like 13 when I started working at Einstein Bagels, and I was trying to get dates when I was like 13, you know? Which is just ridiculous. I was asking like 17-year-old girls out who are just like, talk to me next summer. You know? It was so cute. And I was like working at Einstein's Bagels all summer and shit when I was like 13, I think it was, yeah. And then I worked at Wild Oats for like 3 years during the summers and in the winters too, for like just so I could afford a car when I was like 16 and shit. And like I don't know, man, like I don't know. So now I have owned in my life like 8 vehicles, and I've had like 7 apartments, and I've had like 1 home. I've blown through hundreds of thousands of dollars on drugs and stuff, or we're not on drugs, but just the lifestyle of like being on drugs, you know, buy Ubers and stuff like that, food, liquor, spent a lot of money on liquor, tobacco. In my lifetime, I probably spent like $100,000 on tobacco, because I was a pack a day for goddamn, 13 years or something like that. You do the math on that one. That one's always a really fun deal. So growing up, let's get. I need my calculator. And there we go. So growing up, you guys can't see this, so I'll switch it over. I'm sorry, I'll fix it. Streamlabs is just really not too good. Anyways, so we come here and we say on this calculator, right? We say that I would say 5 for like 13 years, cigarettes were like $5.75, right? Now they're like $13. It's the same exact problem but for like 13 years they stayed flat at like $5.75, and that was always what the price of a pack of cigarettes was for most of my life. But in the last 7 years, I had to quit because it just jumped up to like $7 to $13, depending on which state you're in. Liquor is like $50. It's like $30 to $50 for a handle now, and it was never like that. It was always like fucking 17 to 24, but now it's like 35 to 44 or something. It's like double. And so if you do the math on cigarettes let's say I started smoking when I was like full blown, like every day, was like when I was like 14, and I went until I was 39. And then there was sometimes a few months here and there, 7-month breaks here and there. But it was pretty solid. I wouldn't say it was the whole time. So let's deduct like 5 years from it, just to be generous towards me, you know. But so what is that? From the age of 13 to 39 is, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit tired, is 26, right? So for 26 years I smoked, and let's knock 5 off of them for all the days and the months I just didn't have the money for it or didn't smoke, because there was some time, like 7-month periods here and there, 4, 5, 6, 7-month periods where I didn't smoke, but it was like mostly like when I was like with girls that didn't want me smoking and shit like that. So 575 times, what is that? It's actually not 575 yet. It is 365 days a year times, let's call it 21 years. Jesus Christ. 21 years times, my God, will you actually wipe it? 21 years times 365 days is 7,665 days, right? And that's after discounting 5 years, right? So 7,665 days at 5. Oh my God, go back. Oh my God, what was it again? It was like 365 times 21 years is 7665. 7665 times 5.75 is $44,073, and that's like probably there was days when I smoked 2 packs or even 3. Like that's probably like really generous. I think I'd say like really low. I'm feeling like it's more like maybe 60. Now that I see the number, I'm betting it's more like something like $60,000 on cigarettes. I know that I've lost some cartons in my life. I've lost some like some packs and cartons in my life. I lost a carton one time. I don't know where the fuck that motherfucker went. Somebody just ran off with it, I think. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I definitely also have lost a lot of packs of cigarettes because I was on drugs. So, I mean, I think it adds up. It's like $65,000 in my lifetime. So, my point about this is I've been at it for like 27 years as an adult. Well, by I mean adult being like, since I started doing drugs and smoking when I was like 13, 14. So, what is that? That's like, what, 26 years of being an adult. I have the advantage of having worked for a long, long time. These kids don't. the price, like I have the advantage. I have a home and I have a way to pay for it, and they're helping me. And I have, I have disability and stuff, and I have a fixed income despite working my entire life. I could have gone on fixed income. They told me, they were like, you should have been like the government told me when I came in. And I talked to the government doctors and stuff. They were like, you should have filed for this when you were like 7 years old, but they didn't know what it was. It was tragic. They didn't know what you have, and they were like, you absolutely have this. You should have been on the government dole since you were like 13 years old, and financial pressure should have just never been this thing that ever affected your life. And there was times when I was homeless. There was times when I couldn't afford rent. There was times when I lived in cars and shit. And I was like, really? And they were like, yes, because I mean, they were like, you've done really well. You worked your whole life. But they were like, you are very much so Asperger's, and they're like, you did very well for what happened with the system. You're just very, very you were very young when they actually figured out what Asperger's was. But they were like, no, you seem to think that you're like taking too much from us. But the lawyer told me this too. The lawyer was like, yeah, like you seem to think that you should feel guilty for taking the help and stuff, but like no, they want to help you, and they should have helped you for 23 years, and they should have paid back for 23 years. That would have been $300,000 or something like that, but obviously the government can't pay that kind of money. And then on top of it, like, it's just insane to pay for 20 years of somebody's life that's already been lived and all this stuff. So they didn't do that. They were like, look, we're going to be really nice with this. We're going to put it back like 5 years and give you 2 years past when you even applied. That was their idea. Like I mean, when we first dealt with them for the first 5 years, they were horrible to deal with, and they were really unpleasant. They made us jump through a whole lot of hoops and show bank accounts and all this crazy shit, and they didn't trust us, and it was just crazy. And then suddenly there was just like this day when they were suddenly, one of the things was I moved states, and when I moved states, it was totally different. The state out here, I was in Colorado, but then I moved to somewhere else, and where I'm at now, they're a lot better about it. They don't have the clog problem that Denver does. And so it was very interesting to see, like, so then just in my lifetime, I spent $60,000 on just cigarettes. You got to wonder what it was for dope, because my whole life, what I did, I'll tell you right now, I almost never even ever bought a gram until I was a drug dealer. I bought 20 sacks my entire life. I bought 20 sacks of weed. I bought 20 sacks of speed. I bought 20 sacks of anything I could get my fucking hands on. 20 strips, acid, whatever. $20, right? I'd be like, I got $20, and they're like, we really love you, but you never have more than $20 for us. And it sucks that you sit here in our drug dealer house and you hang out socially with us for like 13 hours, and then you smoke all of our stuff, and then you leave after spending $20. I got that complaint like 400 times in my life or something. They were like, you can't sit here and just ride this place like a bar for $20 all day. And I'll be like, yeah, but you love me. And they're like, yeah, you're the only person I've ever met that I full-blown believe wouldn't rob me. And I'm like, oh, I love you too. So many of my dealers said that to me. My dealers would let me sleep at their house when they really wouldn't do that for anybody else. Because they were like, look, dude, I like you. You're my actual personal friend. I know where you live. I know your family's names. I know your friends. I love you. You hang out with me all the time. You keep me safe. You look out for me. One of the things I did for a long time for dope is I answered the door. I answered the door for my old, he's dead now, my old dealer Tim. I answered the door. That's how I met my girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend Monica, because I answered the door one day and there was Monica standing there. I didn't know I was going to date her like 13 years later, but it was fucking crazy. Small world. She was the hottest girl in Denver both times I met her. But yeah, and her sister was too. Oh my god. But anyways, where I'm going with this is like so you can understand, like, after 25 years you have done some living, you have done some work, you have clocked some hours working. We could do all the hours and the money of working too, at all the gas stations and the taxis and all the stuff, taxi driving and stuff that I did. And so like I look at this like I went into this complete robbery of our country like prepared, and I have a home. And I won't get cast out, and I won't have to sell fucking blowjobs or something I don't want to do for like $700 just to get food and shit. I won't have to do this because I worked really hard all my life. They don't have that fucking luxury. I'm not saying they can't work or won't work. I am saying they can't work, because they can't work. They can't afford to live and pay. They can't afford to pay to live and work at the same time because you guys charge too much for rent and food and water and travel and cars and all that other shit. So I don't understand why you think it's okay to do that to the 3 entire goddamn generations. But the prices needed controlling since like 1996. It's been off the fucking hook crazy. And it didn't really get bad until the bank collapse of 2008. But I mean, that's a huge part of this. We bailed out the banks, and then we had no money left to actually get by and live on. So everything's like $13 fucking now, and gas is, $5 a gallon or whatever, and it's just insane. All my life, gasoline was between $1.25 or $2.25, somewhere between those two things. Now it's double that in 5 years, and that's death. That's like they robbed us and murdered us 5 years ago, and we don't know we're dead yet, and the children are gonna fucking starve, and it's a lot of fucking problems, and the inflation is just fucking, you can't even mention it without wanting to spit, or puke in the sink. It's just the inflation. I can't believe you let it get that bad. And now I don't know. When you look at what they'll have to do for rent, all I can think of is drug dealers, prostitutes, house robbers, thieves, credit card scam artists, Bitcoin fucking NFT flippers, all the stuff that you hear them doing, that Silk Road, all that shit, fucking NFTs and fucking crypto this and crypto that, all the scam stuff, is what all the kids are falling back on. So the government can't track, they're especially doing crypto because the government can't fucking track that, so they can actually make some money that isn't actually inflated up 250% or whatever, so you don't actually ever get anything done. The crypto communities are actually smart because the government isn't in there telling them what they can and can't charge for something, and the government can't track the crypto to ever figure out how much they're selling anyways. So they're actually really fucking smart. Like the crypto people, I want to attack them and hate them and be like, oh, crypto's the currency for all the chomos of the world and all the drug dealers on the Silk Road. It's that shit that they sell pedophile pictures for and shit, feet pics and shit for, right? And it's like, yeah, that is the currency, but it's also this way to do business that doesn't have anything to do with the fascist boot on our neck. And there's a lot to be said for that. And I have so much sorrow in my heart for, like, them having to resort to crypto to keep the goddamn pigs out of their fucking face long enough to pay rent. I didn't grow up under those fucking circumstances at all. And, like, my ex and everybody is dealing with problems like that. You know what I'm saying? It's not fun. So, like, I don't know, do we fix this? Do we just let it fester till it kills us, like some kind of cancer or whatever? Or do we control the rent and control the water and control the food and get it all down to an affordable price? I don't think restaurants should ever charge more than like $11 fucking dollars, and I've always thought this. I think we need baseline things where we don't just rob each other because we can. I think there's some civility that needs to be forced by the law now and all this crap. It sounds like some kind of ultra-liberal fucking like communist deal, but I'm not talking about socialism or communism. I'm talking about fixing prices for things that we need to live. It's entirely different. Things that we need to live should never be gouged by goddamn war profiteers, ever. Water, food, shelter, and I hesitate to do this, but I do include internet and cars with this. And gasoline, and that's it. It's like water, food, rent, the things that you need to live. It's like water, clothes, food, rent, gasoline, and education, I think. And I might be missing one or two others, and I'm sure I am, but, like the top 10 or top 7 or whatever, should all be price fixed so that they can sell their profit, so that they can sell their product at a good profit, because the inflation isn't insane anymore. And there should be like brand new cars for $3,000. And then tell me your mom, if you went to your mom right now, let's say you're poor and you're like 15 or 20 years old or something like that, 24, and you're a born loser like me, and you sit around, you do nothing, you play video games all day, and you watch TikTok, right? And maybe you're a stalker, who knows? I'm just kidding. So like, what do you do for money? And it's a hard question, I know. But I really actually don't believe you shouldn't be able to monetize yourself doing those things, honestly. I really don't. I think you should be able to monetize yourself on TikTok even. So while you're on TikTok, you should be filming yourself on TikTok, I guess, or whatever, right? It's kind of silly, but I mean, that's sort of where this is headed. So, like, if the rent wasn't okay, let's say your rent's good and cheap because you're smart and you have rent that's only $900, right? But you have zero income because there's no jobs that appeal to you, and the education is too expensive to pay for, and you have one dead parent and the other parent is absent, and you're like 22 and you didn't go to college because like you don't have the money to pay for it yet, and the education help hasn't gotten better. And so they're not sent. See, that happened for me. A couple of years there, they sent me $15,000 a year for like 2 years, so I could go to school. And then at the end of the second, or halfway through the second year, I bombed out because I took some advice my mother gave me, which was like withdraw from any classes you can't get an A in, and then graduate. My mother gave me this advice when I went into college, and it was actually the worst advice I ever got in my life. But it was also the best if they hadn't gotten to robbing the kids by that point. If it had been the system that my mother went through, it was good. It was a good suggestion. My mother steps to me when I'm 24. I went to college, not when I was 18, but when I was 24, because I was poor and I was a working man, and I was solo, and I had girlfriends, and I was living in an apartment and shit. I didn't have anybody looking out for me. I didn't have daddy's money or any of this other shit. I had my mom looking out for me, and I had mommy's money, but it wasn't like rich money. It was a middle class person's income. So it's like she never had enough, you know. And so I'm like, you know, like I'm working and I'm young and I'm not single. I have girlfriends and stuff, and I'm living in apartments with them until I'm like 24. But we knew that my mother had gone through 3 bankruptcies in her life, and the government stole about $1.7 million worth of property from her due to credit card debt and foreclosure and chapter 13 or 11, is it 11? I think it's chapter 11. I love Ramona Flowers. Fuck this guy. I'm sorry, but I do. I love Ramona Flowers. Like, I do. Fuck that. Ramona Flowers is one of my favorite characters of all time. So where was I? I was like, money. We're talking about money here, and I know I'm not playing the video game, but I don't care. Like, this content, I'll have to do it, but I don't have to do it fast. So, so what do they do for money? You got to kind of wonder, what do they do? How do they pay their rent? If it's only $900 for their rent a month, maybe they've got subsidiary housing from HUD. Maybe they've got food stamps. Maybe they've got family help to the tune of $20, $50, $100 now and then, but not like this, oh, I'll pay for your college and shit. And then on top of it, like, so this is what my life was like since I was 16. That's how my life was. I was taking care of myself by the age of 16. I lived in my mom's house on and off until I was 18. But I mean, I lived in an apartment from the age of 16 until I was 17. And then I was back in my mom's house back in then. But I mean, lived on the couches of my friends' houses past the rest of my life, basically. Past the age of like 17 or something. I did not live in my mother's house like most of these other people did. All of my friends live in their parents' house until their parents died. You know? All of my friends. And that's the example. They got all their shit handed to them by their parents, and I did have quite a lot handed to me by my mother, but I mean, I worked for almost all of it. The only part my mother did is she helped me buy my home. And that was like, I think she put like $9,000 into it. And she loves me, and that's not too much, you know? Her love is over 9,000. It's good, and it was a real hardship for her, but she did it, and we scraped up like 29. All in all, it was like 31,500 or something like that, and I moved and I bought a home, a fifth wheel home. And they're also auspicious, you know, they're nice enough to let me live here. They're letting me live here on their auspice in terms of like, you know, I have income and it's fixed income, but it's like I don't have to pay for my land because they own it. I don't have to pay for rent because I own it. And I am blessed because I had 25 years to suss all of these things out. These kids just have to deal with the $1,500 a month rent now, right out of fucking high school. And they're thinking that they're gonna like stay around their. I can guarantee it that they're thinking that they're gonna hang around their parents' fucking house till they're like 30 and play video games in the basement and fuck hot girls and troll people on the internet and shit. But that's not how that works. And it's never like that. Their asses are out on the fucking street by like 6 months into their 18th year. It's always like this. Trust me, it's always like this. They won't put up with you doing that beyond the age of like 19. Unless they have so much money, they just don't give a fuck, right? And at that point, it's a non-issue. So just understand, like, if you're young and you expect to live this lifestyle for a long time and you aren't spending this time to prepare yourself for every 5 years, everything costs 20% more, because that is exactly what has happened. You know? And if you are not preparing yourself for this, right now, with every second of your, and every fiber and core of your being, you will starve on the fucking streets and let's see you troll people on the fucking internet then. You know? That's the problem. I don't want their lives to be like this, but it is, you know? And so I help them when I can, and I look out for them. I provide advice. I help them file taxes. I do whatever I can. Any adulting that I know how to do, I help any of my younger friends with, and I do it all the time, because it's like, if you don't, like, and because I know that now, here's the difference, right? I did everything that they're doing. I did all of it. I thought I was just going to sit in my mom's basement until I was like fucking 40 or whatever and play video games and fuck hot girls and, you know, troll people on the internet and play WoW or whatever. And that lasted until I was 18 and a half, you know, like everyone else. And then you get kicked out of your fucking house, and they're like, if you won't work, then you can't live here. So you either work or you do whatever. Even if they're like upper middle class, they'll sometimes do this to you. They won't pay for you all your life, because that's like a freeloader, and no good person will do that. They won't put up freeloaders, not for very long. Some of them really love you, and they'll do it for years. But like it's not like, you know, it's not this thing you can plan on doing your entire fucking life. So now I'm like, man, it sucks when you see like a 15-year-old career fucking troll and shit, you know? Because it's like, man, not only is he setting himself up for like some kind of really bad disappointment when they change the laws and prevent him from living that lifestyle eventually, like they did to me 7 times, you know? But not only is his lifestyle going to end and he doesn't even know it, so he's like I told him yesterday, like, fucking get your time in now, because they're going to change it. And just wait until you see your first lifestyle change, much less the 7th one, where they're like, you can't even be on the internet unless you have a job, you know? And that's where this is headed too. They could say like, yeah, you can't buy internet unless you have an address. They could say that. You know, they could be like, the homeless can't have internet. There's no reason why they can't. And so they, like, there's really no reason. I mean, that's how it pretty much is. The homeless can't have internet unless they pay for it. And how are they going to do that? They're homeless. They don't have a job unless they steal or sell sex or something. So it's like really dumb. The whole system's fucking rigged. And on top of it, so you see them just like blowing their lives away on here, trolling some fucking idiot because it's like a new experience to them or whatever, wasting their little idiot lives away, not knowing that the streets are only like a couple of years away. You know what I'm saying? Like 2 years away, and they think they're gonna sit in their little rich lives. Trust me, even the rich kids think this. It's a rude awakening. No, Daddy Trump won't let you sit. Even Daddy Trump won't let you sit around and do cocaine and do nothing all your life. They won't. They'll force you to do some business for them or something like that, and they'll force you to work full time too. Then trust me, nobody gets a free ride. There's no. It's an old cliche, but it's true. No such thing as a free chicken dinner or whatever. And that's the real problem that I have with people who sit around and harass me all the time. How the fuck do you have the money to fucking sit around and do that? Jesus Christ, man. Even a rich person, you know? How, like, there's still, okay, if I was rich, trust me, I'm banging hot girls, I'm banging hot rails, and I'm banging, you know, off to Bangkok to go see, like, Malaysia and fucking, you know, Australia and Africa and fucking, you know, and Ireland, and, you know, go drink scotch with the scotch and all that, and you know, and all this, and Glenfiddich and all this, and, you know, go, like, what was that thing that Ron Swanson did? This is, okay, well, this is one of my live stream, right? Glenlivet, right? When Ron goes to Glenlivet, this is one of my live streams and stuff. Like, you know, you know, and I don't know. It's just weird. Like their assumption that this eternal supply will last and how they act when they have it is like really disgusting to me, and that's an old man's point of view. What's up, Skinny Mike? How you doing? That's an old man's point of view. But I mean, like, it is like you got to work to put a smile on, and if you don't set yourself up with a skill, you're setting yourself up for that. This is Hobson, by the way, a rapper, right? This is Hobson, old man wisdom. Hobson's my age or younger. I think he's younger. Like fucking, Hobson had some really good wisdom in a lot of his rap, and one of the things he said that really stuck with me is like, if you don't set yourself up with a skill really fucking young, you're fucking setting yourself up for a higher mess. You know what I'm saying? So just be aware, like, so I see these idiots trolling me all day, and I'm like, yeah, have fun with the 3 years that you get to do that before the reality hits. You're out there on your streets, like, ripping people's credit cards, and you got your drug addiction, and you're like fucked up because the life that you lived wasn't productive. And trust me, I've been there. You know what I'm saying? True. Yeah, he knows. Skinny Mike knows. You know how it be. Like, it's cold out here on these motherfucking streets, and trust me, internet troll, wasting your time as an internet troll isn't gonna get you through this. That's my favorite way of fighting trolls, is reminding them of their own goddamn mortality. It's not gonna go away, and if you waste all that fucking time like attacking some other person on the fucking internet, like, I don't know, you set yourself up for a higher mess. You know what I'm saying? That's all I have to say about that. So now we're going to go back to the game capture, guys. Sorry. Hey, what's up, Skinny Mike? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's where we're at now. So, like, and I feel for these kids, it's like a South Park thing. I feel for these fucking kids, because, like, now they've got $1,000 to $2,000 rent. They probably got a cocaine addiction because everybody's on cocaine or fucking opioids and shit. They probably have, like, sex work problems. They probably have, like, stealing problems. They probably are addicted to Uber Eats and shit. I know what all these kids are doing. And trust me, because a lot of them are my friends, and I know what they're talking about when they talk and stuff. And it's like, trust me, I was exactly that same way when I was their age, but I still worked through the whole fucking thing. Everybody I knew went to work for 8 hours a fucking day. If you were in the lower to lower middle class like me, you know what I'm saying? Everybody I knew, especially past the age of 18, went to work at least 8 hours a day. More like 12 or 16 if you could get it. And it's like, I'm not trying to say like go around and stop trolling because your mortality is coming to a fast close, Mr. 15-year-old. I'm just saying that, you're setting yourself up for a higher mess if you aren't thinking about your future. If I was 15 years old and I was trolling some old 40-year-old dude, sure, that'd be cool for like a weekend, give it 6 weeks maybe even, but 18 or whatever, it's been 14 months, right? 14 months at the age of 15, trolling somebody on the internet and watching them all day rather than doing anything, because you're like homeschooled or something. And I just don't understand that, man. How do you intend to do anything in your life at all? And this is what I can do to tease you and troll you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you make fun of me, you call me fat and all this other stuff. But I mean, like, reality, reality. That's all I have to say. Reality. That's all. Defeat my corrupted whatever. It's hard for me to quest when I'm trying to provide content for my stream, because quests suck. That's all. So let's go back to live service. Let's finish live service ruin gaming, and then go back out into the YouTube ocean and find something else fun. Yeah.
I guess making your own burger means single-player games. Now, unfortunately, lots of single-player games these days are also live.
Yes, I absolutely agree. Like, reality was something that I had, not literally, but figuratively, shoved up my ass at about the age of about, I'd say, 17. That was when I got my first deferred adjudicated felony for fucking around with drugs. That was when, I was living in my own apartment, well, not my own apartment, but sharing an apartment with 3 other kids that I was, like, going to school with and shit at the age of 16. I was a lead singer in a fucking band. I didn't sit around and troll for a year, I never would have had that kind of time. I wish, but, yep. So whatever, you know, it's fun to like hit people where it hurts because like that's what they did to me my entire life. So now I feel impervious to just doing it to other people. I feel like Dr. Laura or one of them, you know, like Dr. Phil or something. I'm just like, so why do you feel that way, you fucking psycho? Why do you have the voices in your head, you fucking socio? Why, you know, whatever. And like I don't know. It's just like it sucks, and I'm just like kind of like do you feel like it always needs to be this way, or it just became that way because you stopped taking care of yourself and all this other stuff that you'll hear Dr. Phil saying, you know? And it's not like I want to be like that. That's middle age. You know what I'm saying? That's what middle age does to you. You're like, these kids. When Matt and Trey became 40, they were busting jokes like, these kids. Because they're like I saw this really funny TikTok that my ex showed me. Oh, I know. I mean, I didn't mean to drop Dr. Phil. I'm talking about a caring, middle-aged personality. Is Dr. Phil a good example? No. Who's a better one? Oprah, I guess. But even then, that's not really that good of an example. I'm talking about just somebody who cares, you know? Used to be talk show host or whatever. I don't know. Somebody like the deacon of your church or the principal of your school. Somebody who's like communally obligated to look out for your welfare, you know? Try to be somebody like that. Just like a voice of reason, I guess would be the phrase. Dr. Phil is not a fucking voice of reason. And if you don't agree with me, catch me outside. Catch me outside. Let's watch that again. I can watch this all day. This is like, okay, if you want to know how I figured out what my streamer career was going to be, it's Catch Me Outside. Catch me outside, bitch. Do you want to troll me for 14 years? Catch me outside, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Catch me outside, then.
She'll go after me.
She'll go after me because I'm a spoiled. Oh no, I'm dying. Ah. I'm sorry. I'm about to say something really sexist and really negative, and I'm just gonna keep my fucking negative criticism out of it. And let's watch this hilarious video from 20 billion years ago. But I have to do something stupid with Streamlabs because Streamlabs is full-blown billion-dollar incompetent, and I must fiddle and switch all day because they have no idea how to design a client. And badoom. Okay.
Like if I tell her like hit me, she'll try to hit me, and I gotta like dodge her. Cause if she hits
I've dodged some people.
me, I'm giving it to her.
I'm doing it to them.
Yep.
I'm not violent. I'm not violent unless you threaten my fucking family. Real motherfuckers understand me. If it isn't about God or my paper or my people or my family, you know, real motherfuckers understand me, and nothing else matters than that.
Get out my face. Yep. Either I'm breaking down her door or she's breaking down my door.
Yep.
I don't stop till I start seeing dents in the door.
No, I don't stop. You know what I'm saying? God damn it. Why do you keep fucking spawning every 90 seconds? Come on, man.
She'll be like, oh, she threw boulders at my window. The pebble's like this little. She'll threaten me if you...
It's not... I don't believe this woman is stupid. I believe she is completely misled by affluenza. And she believes that everybody lives this way. So she lives this way. Because her shithead friends live like this. So it's just environment. If the girl was taken out of it, I don't think this is a dumb woman. She just doesn't strike me as that. You can see the intelligence in her eyes. Now,
boulders at my
like that is not a dumb woman. I'm sorry, but it is not. That is not a dumb woman. You can see it right now. That is not a dumb fucking woman at all.
The pebble's like this little.
Like she plays these games because they let her. And it's called. There's a whole phrase for this. It's toxic female. It's a toxic female narcissist, right? So, and what we know about, I know, and the only reason why I know about this is I actually watched a video about this yesterday, about toxic female narcissists and what they'll actually do to you to control you. And the reason they do this is usually an incredibly bad fucking environment of like affluenza, bad family, rape, bad friends, drugs at a really young age, and prostitution at a really young age, and all this shit. You got to kind of wonder, is it not bad principle? It's not bad parents, it's bad principle kind of thing, like Simpsons. It's not the girl, it's the environment, and the idiot mother that put her there. It's like, you know.
she'll threaten me. If you don't do this or that, then I'm gonna call your PO.
It's entirely just somebody off a loose leash, and then on top of it, right, this girl is entirely an act. This whole thing, Dr. Phil, is an act. It's staged. It's, you know, something should be said about this. It's the best fucking staged goddamn, you know, talk show host shit. But I mean, if you look in the background of talk show hosts and stuff, yeah, man, it's entirely scripted like the WWF. All of it, every word, all of it. So this is all, she's just a really fucking good actress. So trying to say, it sucks, it just sucks that I want to defend this idiot. Obviously, she's an idiot, or she wouldn't live like this. Because she is in trouble for this stuff. That isn't a lie. So, but where I differentiate from it is, you immediately go to attack her. But I mean, she's like a 13-year-old minor idiot, you know? And that sucks. That's what we do in this society. We kind of attack the victim. But I mean, and I know it sounds leftist, but like kind of like, but like I don't know if she would have been like. I look at this girl and I think I don't think she would have been like this if they just hadn't let her be like this. You know, if she had some kind of fucking, what's the word, structure, at all. You know, they send these kids to boot camp and shit because it's like they're just not. Mommy never said no, not once. It's Veruca Salt 20 years later.
4 times in one day. And the cops...
Oh, by the way, everything this girl has done, I have done. I'm sorry, but...
I'll be back every time. She wants me to be sent away. You want me just as bad, put me in jail.
Yep, you want me... I mean, like, that's my thing about it, too. Like, smart people can be criminals. It's not necessarily dumb, you know? It's just something they get caught up in their bad environment.
What you think...
I don't want to hear what you have to say. Yes, you do.
What do you say to yourself that gives you the right to take somebody else's car?
I wanted to take the car.
It's not gonna be sliding.
It is. It's all a double life bullshit. Everyone wants to live a double life on the internet. I'm the worst one. My name's Skycat. People never ask me what my name means. Right? So my name is an amalgamation of my two personalities, my real life personality and my online personality, and one's one and one's the other, and I'll let you make the assumptions from there about which one's which, right? Because I don't like revealing information. But that is entirely a play, and I did it on purpose because of stupid-ass motherfucking Slim Shady. Slim Shady is actually schizophrenic. It actually is two personalities, and it's Slim Shady and Marshall Mathers. You can listen to the album and you can hear it. It's split personality. There's Marshall Mathers, who I don't like, and then there's Slim Shady, who I do. Right? So then there's my real life personality, who I don't like, who is an ex-drug dealer, stripper guy, ex-fucking, druggie, like ex-methamphetamine addict with a bad history, a bad past, and a lot of fucking charges on my record, acting like the Cash Me Outside girl. And then there's the cat side of me that gives everybody all his money, helps them in their video games, raids their shit, leads their parties, teaches them things, tries to help them with things. Today I gave somebody a birthday present that was fairly expensive, and all this other stuff, and it's just like, kind of, it's weird. Those two elements of my personality, they live in the same place in the same time. The gangster-ass, thuggy, motherfucking drug dealer that grew up on fucking Tupac and 3-6 and fucking, Slipknot and shit. And then there's, the cute little cat girl type, internet personality that's, bubbly and happy and plays happy games and all this stuff. And the two have lived within inside of me, and I'm not crazy, and I don't have two personalities. I just have two lives. And I don't like either one, really. But I live in one space with one, and one space with the other. And trust me, I can definitely relate to the whole double life thing, and I can't talk anything about it, any kind of shit about it, because I'm the worst fucking one. We're all kind of like that. We all have a dark side and a light side, and...
That's amazing. We want to take the next bitch car.
Yeah. I used to talk like this. I mean, when you're out of control, you're just out of control. And, so the environment has a lot to do with it.
So are you speaking English?
No, she is speaking Ebonics because she came up in an Ebonics school exactly like I did. When I went to Long Beach, when I lived in Long Beach when I was, 12, they taught Ebonics in the school that I went to. It was called Morton Elementary. And oh god. There's a reason she's like this. And a lot of, like, privileged middle-class Americans probably don't really understand. But in the inner city ghettos, they send you to recess for most of your life. They send you to recess for, like, 6 hours a day because they can't even pay the teachers. And I went to a school like this for 2 years, where I literally had 45 minutes of an English class, which was actually in a Ebonics class, where they taught English in Ebonics. And then 2 hours and 45 minutes of recess until lunch, and then 2 hours and 45 minutes more recess after lunch, which was an hour. And then I think at the end of the day, you could go to after school, but there was no class even in the afternoon. You know, it was just recess. And that's where somebody like this comes from. Except her parents are middle class. She's stuck in a poor neighborhood, but her parents are middle class, and she is a like a fucking, what do they call that? She is a product of all of that. She's got her gangster ass, Ebonics speaking black friends like I did, who have her doing stuff like dealing drugs at the age of 14 and smoking weed and shit. And then she's got her middle ass, or maybe, I don't know what the situation with her is, her middle to upper class mother who hands her money all day so she can buy makeup and fucking, you know, condoms so she can fuck her fucking weird gangster boyfriends or whatever. And it's just stupid. And, like, the whole thing is stupid, but if you take that environment away from her, is she a dumb person? Maybe not so much, and that's all.
Do you have an accent of some sort?
And this is true of all humans. It's always environment. It's nature and nurture. It's
You know. From the street.
Her mother's a good mother, I bet, too. That's the worst part. I bet her mother's actually fine. Like, her mother's not good, but she's not bad. Like, I doubt she's beating her or any of that shit. I don't see her mother as being abusive.
Okay.
I don't think she would be on Dr. Phil if she was abusive, or she would be like her, or the daughter would be like, my mother beats the shit out of me all the time, so that's why I beat the shit out of all the other girls at school, you know? But there's no implication of that. The girl just has like bad gangster friends who have led her astray. It happened to me.
So, tell me again, what is it?
And I was hot like her when I was young. You know what I'm saying?
Gives you the right to take somebody else's car.
I don't say anything to myself. I just say, all right, there's a car. There's some keys right in front of me. I know where the car at.
Yep. Fuck it. Yeah, I did that once. God damn it.
You know where the car
You ever just hopped in a car with a fucking, like, that somebody left running while it's like 50, or it's like 40 degrees out? You know? Yeah, not too good. But I mean, like, you know, I never said I was a good person, and, you know, I'm fairly sure that car was recovered. No problem, like a day later.
Did you go to the 5th grade?
I failed the 8th grade because I was so poor and so crazy and so out of control that I skipped 200 and, or whatever it was like 110 days of school. And I just hung out at the fucking park outside the back of the school with my friend Steve, whose father beat the shit out of him every fucking day, pretty much as soon as he got home till you know the night ended with drunken stupor. And then my friend Rachel, whose father was raping her. And I skipped, and my father had just taken off, and I never did ever see or hear from him again. Father went for a pack of smokes kind of thing, and my mother just went insane and had a mental breakdown twice, and then went through the divorce and poverty and losing everything she owned when she was a millionaire and all this. And so that's an example of environment. And we went from really posh, cute little rich white boy in a prestigious New England school to her in the space of a year. And so if you've never been there, you wouldn't really understand. But it's fairly simple. If you end up getting thrust into the fucking lower class pretty much overnight, which is what happened to a lot of Americans in this country, your kids might have ended up like this, because I know I did. And do I say I'm good? No. I never say I'm good. I'm not a role model, and I can't say I don't have a good life any better than hers. Nope.
No, I'm asking, how far did you go?
So but the difference is, she's not as intelligent as me, obviously, but I think she is smart, or she wouldn't be able to do the things she does. She would be in juvie all the time. You know? Dumb kids go to juvie. I know because I've been there a lot. A felony juvie stay for, it was, God, what was that? It was 18 days, I think. Something, 24 in juvie for a high-speed chase, possession of ecstasy that I told them about to get away from my mother. At which point they appointed a guardian ad litem and fought my mother for custody for a year, even though I lived in a nice middle-class house with a nice middle-class life with a nice middle-class school and all this other shit. But I mean, living in abject squalor poverty for my preteens and stuff, I picked up gangster mannerisms, I picked up gangster habits, I picked up gangster drugs, I picked up gangster friends, and it sucked. And I wish I'd never done that, but it was the reality, you know? And I feel for her, so it just sucks. Once you walk a mile in a fucking latchkey kid's life like this, you begin to be a little bit more sympathetic to them. But I am comfortable with calling her an idiot. She is definitely that.
Well, I stopped at 7th if you want to get technical.
You stopped at the 7th grade.
Mm-hmm.
So you did go through the 5th grade.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I was just curious. Okay, so...
I mean, it's Ebonics. It's like he's talking to a black person, isn't it? She's black. It's like J-Rock's portrayal of J-Rock, you know, in Trailer Park Boys. That's a black girl.
You just take it and you don't consider that it belongs to someone else.
No. And trust me, all the kids think like this too. When they've had nothing and they're never going to get anything, they don't care about taking anything from a store, your car. I've been there. And when you have nothing to lose and you're homeless, essentially, or you're like a latchkey kid who doesn't even bother going home for weeks like I was, right? And my mother was not a bad mother. She was just fucking busy trying to support us, you know? So I just went wild, you know, with a single-parent mother. And the environment is a lot of it.
Your keys in my room, you asking for it. You don't leave your keys in someone's room when they've stolen cars.
Yeah, and guess what? This is how I think, too. I don't leave my keys where anybody can get to them. I don't leave my cell phone where anybody can get to it. I don't leave my packs of cigarettes where anybody can get to it. I came up around the lower class where if you leave something on a fucking table, it's gone, motherfucker. And can you even say anything? No, because you know that everyone around you is fucking desperate. You know? You can't leave money lying on the table. You can't leave a drink lying on the table. You actually live in the fucking lower class. It's like, if you put that pack of cigarettes on the fucking table and you turned your fucking head, that's your fucking fault it's gone. That's your fault. You know what I'm saying? That's where I come from. A lot of people don't really, you know, they've not really been there, but I mean, like, that's how that is, you know?
Like, you asking for it.
You pick up ghetto slang and stupid black and Latino, like, euphemisms when you're, like, this privileged white kid. It's so stupid.
So, what do you think is going to happen when you happen to steal somebody's car that disagrees with that?
I'm going to speed up to 135 miles per hour. I'm going to ditch out at the next exit. I'm going to tear through 13 alleys, take a left, tear through 13 more alleys, and then park under a fucking garage door, lie in the seat down, and fucking wait until they speed past me at 95 miles per hour and totally miss that I'm there. Then I'm going to do it again 4 years later. One time I got caught, the other time I didn't. And that's what I do when I steal a car.
Decides
that Sorry.
They're going to drop a hammer on you and prosecute.
I paid all my debts. I got caught. I paid all my debts. I'm out of the system. I'm not on probation. I haven't broken the law in 5.5 years, and for 13 years of my life, I didn't break the law in any way or form. So of the 18 of the 40 years of my life, I was upright. And I paid taxes my entire life. You know, I've been an upright citizen for 18 years of my life. I wasn't a criminal my whole life, but I do have a very bad past. Most people can't handle it. Most times when I think like, oh, you're a 40-year-old without like a significant other and no real like family to speak of except for my mother and like not too many prospects and no college degree and all this, and I worry, have you fucked up your life? And I think, no, I survived. You know what I'm saying? I survived my life. It wasn't just my life. I survived my madness, you know? And I did work almost through all of it, or I wouldn't have been able to. I doubt this girl works, you know.
You to the full
I look at her and I don't think she ever lifts a finger her entire life.
extent of the law.
And I don't think she has to either. That's the other part.
Do my time in jail. Jail ain't nothing.
I know a lot of hot girls exactly like this girl. I used to date them. This is my type. And I'm not attracted to this fucking minor. I'm not saying like that. I'm saying like her type is my type. Like her personality was the sort of girl that I used to date. It's fucked up.
Nobody gonna catch me.
Because you're too streetwise?
Yup.
Yup.
And all these hoes laughing like so.
One of the funny things that you'll learn about these girls when they're attractive like this, and I'm not trying to make comments about her, but when they're beautiful like that, I think we can all agree this is probably a pretty girl, right? I'm not trying to make comments about her. I was like, pretty girls like this will fucking, like, they'll surprise you when they stick a heroin needle in their fucking neck. And you're like, wow. You know? You'd be surprised how really fucking beautiful women or whatever have the worst problems, the worst ones.
Oh, funny.
They'll be poor. There'll be some dude who's trying to shoot her. There'll be like, you know, she'll have a heroin addiction and she'll be driving and she'll be shooting up in her neck while she's driving and shit. You can be around some really, really ghetto people if you want. I have been.
Did you say the hoes are laughing?
Yep.
Yep.
So the audience.
And all women are bitches and hoes, and all dudes are gangsta or like busters, one or the other. All this stupid shit. A bunch of my friends. You want to know the reason I got away from a lot of my friends? There was this wake-up call about 6 years ago where I was like, I don't really want to be friends with anybody but the high school kids that I met in my private school that were like nice to me my whole life and were my brothers and my sisters and stuff and my inner circle, you know. I don't really want to be around anybody else in the fucking my life because everybody else in my life has never seen the ocean. And that's my test for if you live in Colorado and you haven't seen the ocean, I don't really want to know you. And I know that sounds really fucking crazy, but it is actually my litmus test. And so when I'm shopping pretty girls, I'll say, hey, do you like the beach? And if they're in Colorado and they say, I've never seen the ocean, I stay away, which sucks. But I mean, cause it's like if they never even saw the ocean in their life, you gotta kind of wonder how high quality these people are, kind of, you know? I don't know. It's not like they go traveling. It's not like they go do things, you know.
A bunch of hoes.
Yeah.
And when it got really bad, like I was dating a juggalette, and we were doing heroin, and I'll never forget. We were smoking heroin, excuse me, not needles, but smoking it. And I'll never forget. I don't want to tell this story. Never mind.
Catch me outside. How about that?
Catch me outside. Catch me outside. Which means that I don't care who the fuck you are. You could be God, George Bush, Bill Clinton, fucking Biden. You could be the principal at the school down the street. You could be my next door neighbor. You could be my mom, my dad, my friends. Don't care who you are. Don't you ever fucking disrespect me. You are absolutely exactly the same value as me. No more, no less. God on down to me. I don't care who it is. We are all the same value. All life is sacred. You know. All life should be respected, and isn't it okay for freedom and the pursuit of happiness, whatever that means to you, and all this other stuff. And so, like, this is something that has interminably set me against right-wingers my entire fucking life. Because they will always put some kind of authority figure above them, be it church, be it boss, be it God, be it whatever. And this is the cash me outside thing. This is what she's trying to get at, which he doesn't understand because he doesn't speak the fucking language. It's survival language, which is, I don't care if you're God, the CIA, the FBI, fucking my parents, my family, my friends. Don't care who you are. Complete strangers, public, doesn't matter. Don't care who you are. You're the same fucking value as me. You're the no more, no less. I don't want to hear anything from you. I don't want to see any fucking violence. And like, I do not recognize some kind of sovereign fucking authority greater than myself. That's it. Free State of Skycat is the name of all my guilds these days. I don't show allegiance to my government. I don't show allegiance to my family. I don't show any allegiance to anyone but myself and my two best friends. That's it. And like, so, you know, that's what she's getting at. It's survival. She's not saying I want to fight Dr. Phil outside. She's saying, catch me outside. I don't give a fuck who you are. I will go toe to toe in the cell with you. You could be the guard. And that's the difference. That's the mentality that you need to survive on the fucking streets. If you've never been there, you wouldn't understand why she's saying it. You know.
What is that?
And she's like, what? And I am too. I'm like, what? You know. Because, like, what? Like, you're no better than me. So catch me outside if you don't like it. I don't care if you're a cop. I don't care who the fuck you are. And guess what? When you have this attitude, nobody steps to you. Nobody does. Nobody does. Nobody's, like, the one person that ever stepped to me, I put in jail for felony assault. You know what I'm saying? Because it was the only person who ever did it besides my father. You know what I'm saying? So, like, whatever. And now I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, I understand it. I'm not saying we should all have this attitude. I'm saying when you have, like, almost died of hypothermia on the fucking streets and starvation at the same time while you're a drug addict and shit, and all your gangster friends are living out of, like, the children's shelter, and they're all children because all the adults are in jail and shit like that, and they all do drugs, and they're all fucking crazy, and they all steal cars and shit like this, and you're crazy because you do drugs, and it's just like, this is the environment that America has, you know, raised their kids in. It's like we have to accept it. It's like, it's not how all kids are at all. I'm talking about in the inner city when you are struggling. It can be like this, and it sucks.
What I just said.
Catch her outside and she'll go outside and do what she has to do. That's what she's talking about.
Oh, yeah,
Yes, and her mother tried to explain. It is not some I want to fight you outside attack. It's just the acknowledgement that I have nothing to lose. She doesn't. There's something going on in the background. Her home is fucked up, and she has no interest in being there. So you got to kind of wonder what's going on there. You know. Got to kind of wonder what's going on. She has zero interest in what her mother thinks. She has zero interest in what's going on at her school. And she might just be completely wild. But I'm guessing there's a reason. There's almost always a reason they're like this. It's not like me where they go to war with the system just because they mistreat everyone and you around you. It's like like normal people like her. She's like a muggle. You know what I'm saying? She's a muggle. She's acting like a witch, but she has no magic. She's just a muggle with a loud fucking mouth. And she's good at the charisma, but she's not good at magic. So she consistently fails at everything she does, and then they bring her on Dr. Phil. But I mean, like, I know a lot of fucking people like this that, you know.
Don't you see that this is all mouth?
It's just mouth, and if you don't understand it, then it like leads to really bad places like N-word moments where you beat the shit out of each other in public for no good reason. And all the person is doing is just running their fucking mouth just like I'm doing now.
Oh,
So you want to
So there was a reason that I couldn't sleep in shelters when I was homeless, because the crackheads, they never tell you. This is something that it's like a myth, okay? Homeless shelters are a myth. Because the people who go there have all kinds of terrible STDs and diseases. They have whooping cough and AIDS and shit like that. They have needle habits and Hep C. And they do crack and methamphetamine and heroin. So, like, while they're in the shelter all night, they scream jail shit at the other jail idiots. And you cannot sleep. And this is how the actual reality is in the inner city. So this is something that the middle class just sort of assumes that, oh, the poor have all these shelters and places that they can get on their feet with and have an address to send mail to. But in reality, pretty much when most people hit the streets, the first thing they do is find some other place to go than the shelter. And that always implies, like, dumb people. It's dumb people.
take this outside? Because I think they can bring cameras outside.
Really? Because I think I flipped you.
You want to do it again?
You want to do it again?
Please don't. This is not the place. This is
And
not
she doesn't care who it is. Like, see, she doesn't care, and that's strength in a way, because it's just like you have nothing else to lose. I mean, so what's to prevent her from acting like this?
Sit down.
Sit down. All right, Dan.
Sit down.
She doesn't want it because she does love her mother.
Now, come fit me now.
But she'll sock her mother right there in front of the fucking camera. You know what I'm saying? It's not because it's her mother. It's like anybody that gets in her way. It's a personality disease. Yeah. I have it too. It's like, fuck you. If you stand in my way in anywhere form, I will not only talk you out of it, like I'll teach you to never do it again, you know? Just saying. Like, you know, and that sucks. Like, it sucks when you have personalities like this. It's like, yeah, I think it's narcissism, really. Like, signs of narcissism, right? It's like you love yourself so much that you believe that you have a sense of self-importance. In my case, it's a sense of self-importance equal to the richest person in the land. Because they're just a living being on a floating ball of dust, exactly like me. And the money doesn't make them any better than me. You know what I'm saying? Preoccupation with power, beauty, or success, absolutely. I am entitled like I fucking deserve all this because my family fucking built this country. We came over here on the fucking Mayflower and shit. That's the Horton family. I'm fucking proud of it. I didn't have a family for most of my life, but I do like my actual American name, which is Horton. And that's a good fucking American royalty name. My mother is Daughters of American Revolution. Now, okay, I can't tell you my middle name, but if I would tell you that it is a very famous person in the American Revolution because I'm a direct descendant of them. And I would love to tell you, but I can't. I'm a direct descendant of somebody very, very fucking famous in the American Revolution. You know what I'm saying? And so you get entitled. You're gonna think, my fucking family built this fucking land, and here we are, you're trying to put me in jail for fucking drugs? My family built this fucking country. Most of my family served. You know what I'm saying? I tried to serve. I enlisted in the Navy. They wouldn't take me. Like fucking, you know, like God damn it, man. Like it is entitlement a little bit. Like my family worked for this country pretty bad. You shouldn't hunt me and try to put me in jail for fucking drugs when we helped build this fucking country. I should have some say in that. But instead the fascists just tell me what I can and can't do all day. You know what I'm saying? Can only be around people who are important or special. That's absolutely... You know, I can't be around anybody who isn't important or special. Interpreter. Now, what happened here? Did you? Yeah. No. Interpersonally exploited for their own gain. Yeah. Arrogant. Oh yeah. Now this one I am definitely not guilty of. I am too empathetic. Like I can name up something that bothers me and cry in a second. You know what I'm saying? Empathy is my primary personality. Like marker is empathy. I'm there to listen to. This is my main job. My main job is generator, right? I'm here to generate energy and just keep people thrumming all night and stuff. And that's what I did all my life with all my friends whenever I got in the room with them. That's what I'm doing now. I'm just generating, keeping that energy in the fucking air and all that stuff. The other strength of my personality is I'm like the most empathetic person that you'll ever meet. I would be a good judge because I can just step in the fucking shoes of the person, like House or something like that, right? Do a profile on them, take a look at what like I just did with her, and make an accurate fucking assessment of what's actually going on in the fucking background and what the problems are, and then make a suggestion on how to fix it and shit. And that is entirely empathy and emotional intelligence based, and I have to be admired, you know. I don't know why, but I have to be admired. I'm constantly bragging. I mean, okay. My best friend, who I am absolutely in love with, is also a female narcissist. And one of my favorite things about her is she'd probably admit it, but she probably wouldn't like what I'm saying. But I'm not saying it to be hurtful to her. She is so beautiful that she stares at her cell phone camera all day, because she's so worried that she might not look the most beautiful that she's ever looked in her life at that moment that somebody saw her. She would be imperfect, and she's such a perfectionist that, you know, that imperfect is impossible for her. So, and that is classic narcissism, but she doesn't have any of the rest of this other stuff. That's it. And so I struggle with the psychiatric, what's the the American Psychiatric Manual definition of narcissistic, because I've also seen narcissistic from people who are perfect tens, whose preoccupation with any of this shit is entirely with her only thing on this thing at all. She has none of the rest of it. Is the preoccupation with beauty. That's it. Because she's like one of the most beautiful women in the world. So like, if you like, and so notice that these are symptoms and signs, but not everybody has all of these things. But I have all of it, and on top of it, I'm also egomaniacal, which is like signs of egomania is not fun. We'll go take a look at that one. I wonder sometimes, like, if I should even be doing my job, except for I've been out of the clear in the system. I'm not a criminal. I haven't broken any laws in 5.5 years, and I'm doing good, and I'm not going back. I'm not ever doing anything that, you know. I think it should be okay for somebody who never raped or murdered or harmed anybody in their life to maybe get some reform. Now, maybe some scam stuff like Bernie Madoff is so bad, but I've never done anything like that at all. Never anything that ever harmed anybody, ever. So, like, I do believe in reform for people who have never harmed anybody. You know what I'm saying? 7 signs that could help you identify an egomaniac. They are aggressive and vengeful. Oh, yeah. Don't fuck with me, or I will destroy not only you, but everyone around you, everybody you've ever met. And I mean, you can hear the aggressive and vengeful, can't you? Like, don't fuck with me, or not only will I destroy you, I'll destroy your family. And I don't mean that in some murder thing. I mean it like, I will make sure that you and your family will not enjoy their lives for the rest of your lives. So just don't fuck with me, because I'll never fuck with you. I've never struck or harmed any living thing. I've never threatened to. I've never harmed another living thing. I've never stolen from anybody who I knew their name, you know? And I've never harmed a living thing. I've never screwed anybody over in a dark way or done anything that I believe you could even almost go to hell for besides stealing. So, like, you know, it's weird, but, you know, it's just weird like that. So, like, when you feel like you haven't done anything that wrong, you can be very, very vengeful with people who treat you badly. You're like, yeah, you cross me, you fucking die, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean that at all. But I mean, that's the attitude, though. That's the yelling that Catch Me Outside was doing. It's like the talk. You know what I'm saying? And they try their hardest to stand out. Their self-obsession is through the roof. They don't care much about their friends. Sound familiar? Ambition beyond measure. Sound familiar? They will never let you forget that one bad incident. You know what I'm saying? Remember that time you fell off that fucking tower? I'm going to talk about that for 50 years. Remember that time you fell off the fucking tower? Jesus fucking Christ. Scrub. So let's go take a look at what else it is, because it's kind of fun. I don't like L. Ron Hubbard, I don't like psychiatry, because it's like, I actually, except for pedophilia and like psychopathy, I am not psychotic, and I've never harmed a living thing, and I've never had a desire to, so I'm not dangerous, right? But every other personality disorder in the fucking book, I believe I have, to some degree or another. So it's like kind of weird, you know. It's like weird. I'm not a crazy person because I've never harmed anybody, but I'm you know, one of the harder parts of all of this. Like I turned down a really beautiful woman a few weeks ago in my real life because I knew right away that my narcissism and egomania was just something that she wasn't going to be able to handle, you know, right away. And I met another woman who I didn't want to date, who also immediately I knew that my egomania and narcissism was going to be something that they can't handle. You know, it's like that's very common for me. I tell people, I warn them all the time. I'm like, yeah, my friend, like Tiny Tempa taught me well, right? And there's a song that I love with Emily Sandé, and she sings. I love Emily Sandé. She sings so well, and she sings, you know. If you can see me, then you're probably too close. I can't remember because without music, my Asperger's blocks me from doing lyrics. It's so annoying. So we're talking about Tiny Tempa, Let Go, right? Yeah, this is a good song, but I can't play it because we're on YouTube right now. But, you know, if you can see me, then you're probably a little too close, which means that I pretty much are going to live solitary for, like, the rest of my fucking life, right? And she said it well. So you think you can love me? Well, you got to be stronger than most, and that's another thing. A lot of the women that I choose, not a lot, almost all except for one of the women that I ever chose are like the strongest women you've ever met, you know? Because my ex didn't like it. None of them like it. They can't stand actual narcissist egomaniacs who don't care about their appearance, who don't care about their effects on other people's lives, who just steal wantonly and don't care, and you know, and all this, and act like a dog in the streets and all this. Somebody remind me, when's the right time? When's the right time to let go? You know, because my ex didn't like it, my friends, they don't like it, nobody likes it. My authority figures, my family, nobody likes it. I think the internet would like it, but I don't think anybody in my personal life actually likes it, which is kind of funny, you know. So anyways, if you can see me, then you're probably a little too close. So you think you can love me? Well, you got to be stronger than most. Because my ex didn't like it. No, my friends, they don't like it. Somebody remind me when's the right time. When's the right time to let go? And it sucks because it's like that's how I feel about it. It's like my ex didn't like it. My friends don't like it. My family doesn't like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, most of the time, I end up shutting down 9s and 10s who sense that I'm not afraid of them and have had a lot of experience dating women like them. And I end up turning down, oh my God. Like, oh my God. I met this girl, no, I mean, I'm just going to leave it out. But like, Jesus Christ, I end up turning down people because I'm like, trust me, you can't handle it. You don't know what it's like. I believe that I'm just better, or I'm sorry, it's not better. I believe that I'm equal to everyone else. So I just believe that what I'm doing is just as important as anybody else. You know what I'm saying? At any given time. It is entirely crazy. There is many more people in this fucking, you know, society that are much higher value than me. In terms of the money they make, in terms of the good they do, in terms of their heart, or any of that other stuff, you know? And I like this guy, but he's so right-wing, it's scary to me. Why every movie and every video game is flopping is because they gave us instant gratification too fast, which is why one-shots are so bad. I did a video about it today. I want to see what else he did. I already watched this one. I want to see what else he did, but yeah, I don't think so. Can you see what I'm doing? Yes, you can. Okay, good. So, I don't know. I'm looking for something funny. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw this.
From humble beginnings to Hollywood success, OG YouTuber and mommy vlogger Colleen Ballinger has now been hounded by controversy. Let's get into it. Colleen,
this
who
is a
used to
train
go by
wreck.
Miranda Sings, has been caught sending used underwear to another.
Thank you
From
for...
humble beginnings to Hollywood success, OG YouTuber and mommy vlogger Colleen Ballinger has now been hounded by controversy. Let's get into it. Colleen, who used to go by Miranda Sings, has been caught sending used underwear to another YouTuber when they were underage. In an expose, Adam McIntyre speaks out about how they were treated by Colleen when they were friends and colleagues. Adam claims that Colleen and her friend Corey groomed their child fans and had minors working for free, bullied them, and even sent them inappropriate items.
Colleen Ballinger grooms her fans. She's done it to me. I will go on the record saying that. All we did was bully people. That's what she is.
But while the YouTuber might have landed herself in hot water now, it's her famous red lips that earned her fame as Miranda Sings back in the 2010s. Telling haters to back off, Miranda's exaggerated singing, dancing, and tutorials saw her shoot to superstardom as she released her own shade in 2018 at the height of her fame. But things took a very different turn a few years later when fans started questioning how much...
She's got an interesting face that I wish I could talk to my best friend about, which is like, she's really beautiful sometimes when she really tries to do the whole full-blown Jenna Marbles makeup thing and looks like a Hollywood, not AAA, I'd say double A star, right? But then other times she doesn't look. And it's not because, and she's still, and I'm talking about when she's in her casual look, like when she's in her casual dress, not when she's dressed up like her character. When she's in normal casual dress, she's sometimes really beautiful and other times really plain looking, and it's an interesting effect that I wish I could talk to my best friend about. Because like she's I would say like an avid studier of faces. It's one of the reasons why she likes to look at herself is because she's like a facial expert. She knows the muscles and all the names, the buckle and all that stuff. It's interesting. Like
From humble beginnings.
some people like faces.
Experienced what it must have felt like for early human scholars like Aristotle when they'd sit and ponder the deep, complex issues plaguing society, as well as taking notice of things going on around them and trying to make sense of all of it.
Yeah, I feel like that too. I feel like a pioneer in a sea full of crazy. And I know that I'm crazy, but I don't think I'm crazy like them. I've never done anything that would ever make anybody blush. Frown, but not blush, you know.
And today, my philosophical thought experiment was, why is every single new movie that's coming out flopping? With the exception of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, most new movies that are coming out...
Across the Spider-Verse, I need to watch that, but I don't like Marvel, and I hate Spider-Man.
Over the last few months...
I mean, like, is it okay to not have, is it okay to not like that?
...are setting new records for how...
I mean, I can't think of a time Spider-Man has ever entertained me. I have some friends who would, like, want to kill me for saying this. But I'm sorry, Spider-Man has never, I think, ever... Oh, no, wait, no, I know when Spider-Man entertained me. It was for a great deal when I was a kid. Spider-Man Game Boy, right? This was really fucking good for its time. Spider-Man Game Boy. I said I must have beaten this like 500 times or something. It's so good. Yeah. So now this was when Spider-Man was good, and it had been co-opted by the fucking QAnon, like, alien horse pilots or whatever. This game was genuinely good. Like, really fucking good. Like just a bop to play. Like, I don't remember anything negative about it at all. It had a great fighting system. It had great projectiles. It had cool web slinging shit. It looked good for its time. The music was good. You can hear it. This is the only time I have ever appreciated Spider-Man ever. And I've read all the comics. I've read like 85 into... My friend had like a lot of the Spider-Mans, so I read like 85 Spider-Mans one time. I was just like, this is great, but, you know, it's just... I don't think I ever need this ever again, you know? And that sucks when all of your friends really love something, but you're just like, meh! Game of Thrones was like that for me, too. And The Walking Dead. I was like... Oh, and also, everybody really loves Death Stranding. I thought that game was like a fucking bad walking sim that was really hard to follow. That was also sort of overly over the top when it came to, like, baby torture? And I can't believe I'm saying that. But essentially the kidnapping and torturing of a fetus and the confinement and the... I mean, I'm sorry, but Death Stranding totally fucking missed me. And I do like anime, and I don't mind a good Japanese plot, but that game, man... I'm sorry, I tried like 6 times. I own it 2 times, even. But I never got further than like an hour and a half in. I was like, nah, man. Combat sucks. It's a walking sim, and it's proud of it. The graphics are really fucking good, and the story seems really fucking good, but it's so weird that I just don't care. And I'm sorry that, like, this is one of the reasons why anime, you know, I like weird when I feel like it has some kind of growth element to it, like it teaches you something. But just offhanded weird like Death Stranding, for what reason, kind of, you know? What reason? Don't threaten me, wall crawler. We'll discuss this in the alleyway, bitch. Catch me outside if you make it. Don't worry about me, dome brain. I'll be in your face so fast it'll pop your plexi, bitch. See, okay, I want to do a video. I thought about doing another video tomorrow, right? And see how you guys think about this, right? See what you guys think about this, right? I want to do a video of video games that I grew up on. And video games that you grew up on. right? And so here's what my best friend, who is admittedly half my age, right? Here's what they grew up on. Great game, by the way. Yeah. This is what you grew up on. Meow. This is what I grew up on. Meow. But yet you're a little shithead who wants to talk shit about my skill all the time, wondering why I'm not good like you, right? You want to know why? I can tell you why. Because I spent 2 years playing this game when I was 5 years younger than you, right? This game. I didn't come up on this like you.
I did it about 3 or 4 days ago, and since then...
This came when I was 16? Something. No. This game came out when I was like 26 or something like that. But I mean, Call of Duty 1 came out when I was like 16, something like that. So you gotta understand, I didn't grow up like playing shooters since I was 10, like you guys, you know? I played World of Warcraft for 18 years, and badly, I might add. And like, in games like this, you know? I didn't come up on Black Ops and shit. So when I come up against these people in Fortnite that are like super sweats to stop me in inside of 9 seconds, shotgun monkey in my fucking face, you know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna see on the screen now, right? All this shit, cool if you've done it for like, you know, 10 years, 10 years. I've done some shooters, but not for years. The only time I've ever done a shooter for years was Rust. And you'll ask any of my friends. You can ask any of my friends, and they'll tell you, Cat likes the compound bow. Cat does more with a compound bow than I do with a Balti. Cat's a compound bow player and suppressed revolver at close range roamer, who only ever sat compound bow and fucking base-ass prim revolver suppressor and said, what, as I shot you in the face with the suppressor. You know what I'm saying? And won the fight, and then walked away with your loot because my shit's suppressed. You know, for a year and a half, I ran compound bow and revolver, and I slaughtered heavy metals, you know? All day. Heavy metals all day. And I'd take the gun and shit and I'd just slap it on down in the chest and I'd be like, going back out, revolver and compound bow. Enjoy the fucking AK or whatever. You know, he wanted my jackhammer, but fuck him, you know. And so they couldn't ever get mad at me because, I mean, they could if I lost guns at like Large Oil or something. But they couldn't ever get mad at me for like dying because the worst that I ever lost usually was like maybe an MP5 once in a while or like a Python or something. But mainly it was compound bow, suppressed revolver, 64 bullets and a dream, and, you know, and a knife. And like, I like that gameplay. I don't like this bullshit. This bullshit looks like fantasy to me that couldn't ever really benefit you as a human being. You know, it just looks like candy. It feels like the gamer is just eating candy all day, and I just don't really see how it like ever makes them a better person. Really, it just sort of entertains them. Now, this is good for casuals. It's great for casuals. Now, I love Call of Duty when you look at it like from a one and done visit, or like hanging out with the homies on a Saturday night, 4-player on a screen, or you know, even online with the clan or whatever. Warzone was great. It was fun as fuck last time I played it with my clan. It's fucking perfect like that. But do I want to live on Call of Duty like I live on every other game I own? No. And I don't think I could, you know. That's the problem. Like, you know, give me some other premises beyond twitchy gameplay that one-shots you, you know. And so I should stay away from shooters. I don't have the mentality anymore. I was an RPG player a long time. So this is what you grew up on, and you think I'm bad. But see, I'm not bad. I just grew up on this. You know what I'm saying? No joke. I beat this game all the time that you spent playing this. I spent playing this. And you think I'm bad. You're an asshole. Remember, I don't say anything that isn't true. You know what I'm saying? Look how fun this looks. It's like Mario, but with fist fighting, isn't it? It's like fist fighting Mario. It's so good. Fuck this guy. Yeah, let him go. You know, boing. Yeah. Oh my god. This game was hard. It was like Metroidvania hard. Yeah. Oh. 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 If you crouch and hit the B button, it was his web, and the web would kill people. So he has a projectile, but the player is speed running, I think. He is speed running. He's just going forward, pressing W. Like, that makes him skilled. Like, man, another problem I have that I'll freely attack another video I want to do, right? Ideas for videos, right? Yeah, another video I want to do is the first video I want to do, like maybe tomorrow even, is, hi guys, and I keep this one short. I did a 51-minute video today, but I want to do another, like a short tomorrow, where I'm going to be like, here's what I grew up on. Here's what you grew up on. And yet you call me bad and say, get good.
Plus, I didn't actually expect to hit 2 million.
And it's a boomer defense to shitty people acting shitty to people for no reason. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be like, you call me bad. Sometimes some of you people call me bad sometimes. And yet you came up on this, you know. And I quite literally, I came up for 5 years on this. Right there. It's almost like a courtroom thing. It would hold up in a courtroom as to why you're an asshole. Oh god, boss fights? Ooh. Yeah, you have like 2 hits before you're just dead. Yeah. This is Hobgoblin. Or no, was it Hobgoblin? I can't remember. I just, the entirety of what I know about Spider-Man, beyond all the comics I've fucking read, is like what I learned from this game, because it was the only time I ever actually cared about it. And so I know what the villains are because of the end of the stages of this game. And the, like, brief time when I was on speed one time, when I read through, like, 85 Spider-Mans in an hour. Yeah, this guy's really good at this. Goddamn. So anyways, here's you calling me bad, as you spent 5 years doing this when you're, like, you know, 10. And here's me from the age of, like, 10 till 15. Or what? Really, it wasn't this, it was this. I played another game a lot more. But here's the game that I came up on, or, I'm sorry, yeah, Yoshi's Island, right? Yeah, here's the game that we all kind of came up on. Like, I played this the other day, like, on my stream, you know what I'm saying? Dope-ass shit, you know what I'm saying? So, okay, here's what, here's meow, right? Here's what I came up on, right? We played this game for 7 years, from the age of 11 until I was 17. We played this game every day for like seven fucking years. Something. Or it was less than that, it was like 5 or something. From the age of 10 until the age of 15. This is where I got my shooting skills. It was throwing Yoshi's Island eggs at coins in a 2D space. And you have the fucking gall to call me bad. You know what I'm saying? For 5 years until I was 15, this is what I did. Seriously. Everybody did it. And so in the UK, you step to me like, oh, you suck so bad, because you're a garbage crab person, asshole, right? Who's just like, you know, like, you come up on this, and you think I'm so bad and shit, but trust me, I know more about this game than I do about this game. I played this game more than I have this game. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, just get you know, reality. I know you and reality don't really fuck with each other a whole lot, but you know, this kid, you know, don't get it twisted. You know, it's really scummy, that attitude. It's really based and totally fucking ignorant. And you don't walk a mile in my fucking shoes, asshole. You know what I'm saying?
How dog shit they're performing.
So that was the first one. What was the second one? I can't remember. I had a good idea. What was it? It was this is what I played and this is what you played. But then what's the second one? I have another idea and I can't remember. God damn it. I can't remember.
In the box office. These bad boys are flopping harder than LeBron James against the Denver Nuggets in the playoffs.
Oh, God, that was fucking vicious. Jesus.
It's getting rough. And I just read...
Ripping on LeBron and the Nuggets, man. I almost want to turn it off. I kind of want to turn it off, man. You really shouldn't talk shit about LeBron or the Nuggets, man. Just saying.
This headline here about a movie I didn't even know existed being DreamWorks.
Teenage Kraken flops. Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken.
Lowest opening for anything.
Kraken. What little girl wants to be a fucking Kraken? I'm gonna ask my best friend if her daughter would be like into wanting to be a Kraken.
They've ever made called Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken.
Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken. Oh my god. Oh, I should go to bed. I'm cracked. You can hear it. Damn it.
It brought in just 5.2 million so far.
That is not enough money for a fucking computer animated movie at all. They probably sunk like $100 million into it.
Far on opening weekend.
Oh, it is. It's DreamWorks and Universal. They sank a lot of money into it.
This is a $70 million.
It's a stinker. Woo!
Budget, and that doesn't account for any of the marketing costs. So this is
It's like Waterworld. It cost $260 million and it pulled like 5.
looking like a historic bomb. This isn't alone. Elemental is still in theaters and is not performing well.
Elemental didn't do well.
It was Pixar's second lowest opening ever, I believe. Like, what's going on?
What's coming that might suck? It's the What If the Little Mermaid sucks? What if the Little Mermaid sucks? What if the Little Mermaid sucks? Like I don't know. What if the Little Mermaid sucks? I like the other two they did, the Aladdin and the other one, Mulan, pretty good. What if the little what if the Little Mermaid sucks? Because it's like, is Disney dying? No, they're not dying. Oh no. Oh no.
Yes, this is actually part of the soundtrack. Modern Disney, everybody.
Wait, that's part of the soundtrack? Wait.
Yes.
That was the song with Daveed Diggs and Aquafina? Who the fuck names themselves after water?
Actually part of the soundtrack.
Like a corporate water brand.
Disney, everybody. I've made it no secret at this point that I thoroughly despise the Disney live-action remakes with the burning flame of 100 solar flares.
I thought they were fine. I thought they were just fine. I think all of them were 8s. I think they were a bop. I really liked the Willy Wonka. I really liked Willy Wonka. But all the rest of these I thought were mediocre at 7.8s. Every single one of them. And you know what? I bet the kids creamed their whatever. I'm supposed that was disgusting. I didn't mean it like that. The kids went crazy for this. And like phrasing, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, it's bad background. The kids went crazy for this. See, when an adult goes crazy, they cream their panties. When a kid goes crazy, they just go crazy. But I don't like calling kids crazy. So it's like, it kind of sucks. I'm kind of stuck between the two. I'm like, I don't want to make a sexual joke about kids, but I also don't want to like call kids crazy because that's not really cool either. So it's like I get stuck on that one. I'm like, what do you call it when a kid goes bonkers? It's bonkers is the word I was looking for. I'm sorry. So I'm sure all of these movies, excuse me about weird shitty comments about them going like creaming something. It's disgusting. The fucking the movies are all really good. They're like 8s. And I thought Wonka was like an 8.5. And so, I don't know what you want from these people, but I believe it should be, are the kids happy? Now, why do I see... her... Isn't that Katie Sackhoff? No shot. Oh, no. I remember this part that she did. You know, I remember that part. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah. But, I mean, who is that? That looks like Katie Sackhoff. Isn't that Katie Sackhoff? Clone Wars, Rebels, Galactica, Rebels, and The Mandalorian. But no, oh my god, she's fucking hot. I can't look at Katie. There's a girl my age. Jesus fucking Christ. And also, she's Starbucks, so she's a living fucking goddess, in my opinion. She has, like, the greatest goddamn sci-fi character of all time. I like her portrayal of Starbuck more than I like Mark Hamill's portrayal of Luke Skywalker. I really do. I think Starbuck was much better than Luke Skywalker. And, yeah, so she can do no wrong in my book. This is a living goddess like Claire Danes. And she's also my age, I think, which is good. So is Claire Danes. These are women. These are the women I would have gone for had I gone the Hollywood route and gone naked. I'm sorry, gone naked. I'm thinking about her naked. I just literally had a thought. God damn, she must look amazing naked, and I'm just. Literally, I did that Simpsons thing where I'm like, I watched this last night. I watched an episode last night where it's like, I'm going out of there a free hotel, right? Free everything, a free hotel, right? And it's like, and I'll just say the thing that I'm thinking, right? And so her and Claire Danes were like the premier fucking actresses. Actually, I think she's younger. No, she is my age. She's my age, right to the year. Like fucking, you know, like she's my age. You know what I'm saying? And so it's really beautiful to see her. And she kicks fucking ass. You know what I'm saying? She kicks ass. And then right next to her, of course, is Claire Danes, who was Juliet, Terminator, My So-Called Life. See it? Before I even read the monitor and stuff. And this was my ideal woman for many, many years. So, yeah, and there she is. There she is when she's older now, like me. So she got some wrinkles and stuff, but you know, it's okay. And we old. And so these are the women I would have gone after had I ever gone the Hollywood route. But also they're all engaged or whatever. They're all married and stuff. It's fine. But I know who. And then there's one more. There's another one who's younger who I would have gone after, which is of course Amanda Seyfried is I think is like one of the most beautiful women in the world. I've seen some better ones, but yeah, not much though. She's so fucking hot. And so then her work was really influential for me in House and Mank and I haven't seen her in The Dropout, but I wonder if that's good. Oh my god, I didn't know she played Elizabeth Holmes. I didn't know she did this. It's a black comedy. She did Elizabeth Holmes. That's fucking crazy. I wonder if it's good. I'm going to watch this tonight. I want to watch The Dropout. What channel is it? What fucking channel is it? I didn't know she did that. See, I love Amanda Seyfried. See, these are the women that I somehow deludedly believe myself that I can get with when I'm skinny. Because I can. I have. You know, when I'm skinny, I have no problem with it. So it's like, I always kind of keep tabs on what the most beautiful women in the world are, and that goes back to that whole fucking egomaniacal, totally delusional narcissism thing, where it sucks because somehow my personality supplies me with the women that I desire, which are always 9s and 10s. And I don't, and by supplies me, I mean like the company of. It supplies me the company of women, usually, who are like 9s and 10s for some reason, even though I'm not in the same number class as them most of the time in my life. Sometimes I am, but it's when I'm really skinny, and that's very rare. And I tend to not, I don't eat a lot, it's more that I don't move a lot, but these days I have been walking a lot and stuff. And so, I've been thinking about women a lot, because I'm like, man, if I could lose like 100 pounds right now, and I've been doing pretty good with it, I go shopping again, you know what I'm saying? And like man, I never preclude, this is the egomania of a totally deluded narcissist who believes that they can get with people like this when they're absolutely broke loser who like has no clout, no money, and no hope, and we don't want no scrubs. A scrub is a guy who can't get no love from me, right? But I mean, like, I never, ever, this is that thing about self-image and self-ego and stuff. I never, ever stop believing in myself in this fundamental way where I'm, like, just as powerful as God if I want to be. And so then I just fucking, like, I mean, it's one of the reasons I stream is I want to share my attitude with other people. So I just manifest it out of my butthole or something. I don't know what it is. I'm just like, all right, I need a really beautiful woman right now, and I don't even have a cell phone, and I don't, it's whatever. I'm just gonna do it, and I'll go find it somewhere. I don't know, or whatever it is, if it's dope, or if it's like, you know, if it's a car, or I mean, it's just crazy. It's like I'll go find it somewhere. I'll go do it. If the games are like that, let's go get it somewhere somehow. You know, and I'm like, I don't know. and the only way I know how to explain how I'm able to do that is, yeah, you are crazy, lady. You are crazy. I have to do a refresher on her. I watched something about her a couple weeks ago. I had no idea this whole crazy fucking thing happened with Theranos. No fucking idea, but yeah. So now I want to do this whole thing. It's on Hulu. It's on Hulu? No. I don't like Hulu. Oh, you fucking dirty bastards. I don't know. I never have and never will watch Hulu. And I don't know why that's the case. Well, I do. It's because I never did stop paying for Netflix for the last 20 years. So, why would I ever use Hulu? And I'm terribly sorry. Yeah, I mean, this is a great story, and I would like to see Amanda Seyfried play her, but... So now, right? So now we're going to be all stalkery, and I would never stalk Amanda Seyfried, but I will go to her Wikipedia and see if she is single. Or if she's still on the, table or not. Because, you know, anxiety, she's OCD, so we would never, it could work, but I would need money to pay a maid. Or I can't do OCD. My mother's OCD, and we never could really live in the same home. Not really. And panic attacks. That's unfortunate. She also had stage fright, and largely for that reason avoided performing in theater. Seyfried was in a relationship with actor. I don't want to know about them. I don't want to know about her relationships. I want to. Is she married? She got married in 2017. 2 kids. Off the table. Goodbye. I'm sorry for stalking. Just, you know, check in, see, you know. See if they're single, and if they aren't, oh well.
With Disney showing no signs of stopping with the production of these horrible movies.
One time, I flattered a porn star named, oh god, I love her, Riley Reid. And so when I was like 35, I was like, I think you're probably around my age, and I sent a written letter to Riley fucking Reid. And I was like, I have hung around strippers and stuff my whole life, and I don't give a flying fuck about sex work or porn or anything like that. And I could literally have my exes write a referral for me about how they're all my best friends still, and I've been a really good boyfriend and stuff. And I wondered if you care for a dude who just wouldn't give a flying fuck if you're a porn star, and if you need someone who will really, really love you because you're my type. And she wrote back, and she said, that is very sweet, and I cannot take you up on your offer, but here is a year-long subscription to RileyReid.com. She was like, what you said was very flattering, and I was like, okay, and I didn't use it. Signing into the website made me nervous. It was so... Like, they wanted my credit card, they just weren't going to charge me anything, and I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to pay for this. She gave me a year sub that I didn't use, and I got into the sign-in process, and I was like, I'm not going to do this. I believe it is some in some way or form, not through her auspices or anything. I think just the whole premise is kind of dangerous, and I was just like, I never have and never will pay for a porn site. I'm not gonna, and it wasn't paying either. It was free, but I definitely had to give the credit card to even get in, and so that sucked. And I was like, nah, she'll find some way to get me to pay or something. And I'm just like, I'm not gonna become some porn star's weird fucking tool or whatever. It was just fun. It's fun to do things like actually hit on women. I don't care what their status in fucking life is. If you do it tastefully, you're like, look, you don't know me, I don't know you, and I know you get a lot of letters like this and stuff, and I'm not in love with you or anything. I'm just wondering if you actually need like a normal boyfriend who won't cheat on you, who will love you, who doesn't care if you're in porn, because I don't give a flying fuck what the women who are with me do. I don't care what they do. As long as they don't bring their fucking problems to me, and they don't, and they bring their hearts and minds and souls back to me in the end, I don't care what they do. This is one of the reasons why I was able to date 9s and 10s. They're under assault from men all the time, and I feel so bad for them. I feel for them. I've seen it before. I've watched my ex-girlfriends crash cars. It's not fun. And so... You know, when you treat them like human beings and with respect, you'd be surprised how far it goes. Even the weird, creepy internet, stalker type, fucking letter written to an address that's like, look, you don't know me and I don't know you, and here's my picture and I'm a fat dude and what's up. But I'm I'm not trying to hit on you because of your porn or whatever. I just think you're one of the more beautiful women on the planet, and I wonder if the men in your life are treating you right. And women are sometimes flattered by this. It was unsolicited, but I mean, I don't know. And I don't know why I did that, but I felt that she was my type. And that's weird when you gravitate to porn stars and, strippers and other types,
Just expect them to lose more dignity in
I've never paid women, but I've definitely hung around sex workers. You know what I'm saying? I've never had to pay for women ever. But I never had an issue hanging around sex workers because I was a drug dealer,
Before that I couldn't bring myself to care anymore because there's only so many times you can say these remakes are inferior to the animated version for obvious reasons. But I'm sitting here all alone, going through some post-vacation...
The one time that a prostitute ever fucking I've never been propositioned by prostitutes. They can tell right away that I'm an LTR type. They can see it on my face. I don't act interested at all. I'm like, nope, unless you can fucking bring your heart home to me, I can't do it. And a lot of those women can't do that. You can tell right away. They can't do LTR. It's not in their lifestyle. So, but it's kind of funny. But they can read you. They can see that you're actually a good mate and that you would never cheat. They can see it in your face. It's kind of funny. And it gets you further than you might think. Especially if you're actually taken, too. Helps a lot when you have a girlfriend already. When she knows that you're going home to your girlfriend, it's a lot harder for them to resist you.
Time we have The Little Mermaid on the chopping block. I don't even know why Disney felt the need to remake this one. It's not like they weren't still making a shitload of money off the animated one's likeness. And yeah, the movie is a bit over 30 years old, but it's still being widely viewed by a large variety.
I haven't seen this movie in 25 years or something, so I wonder if I should rewatch it, because I remember parts of it, but I don't know anything about this anymore. I just remember universally that it was an amazingly good film.
Audiences, what is there even to remake about this one? The original didn't have it.
Yeah, the water in the watercolor is not very good, as you can see evidenced on this screen by all these rotten, dirty, naked people that Disney depicted. These people are naked, and they're having an orgy. Don't believe what the fish fins imply. These people are having an orgy in the ocean, people. It's happening right now as we speak. There's crabs, and STDs and all that stuff, and fish. They're into fish. And that's what I think when I look at this scene. I don't know why it paused on this scene, and hey, the big old rainbow is going above it. So we all know that maybe the men are kind of, no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so the blue, the blue doesn't translate well. It doesn't. So, but I think it does in something like Finding Nemo. Excuse me. Let's look at Finding Nemo in, oh my god, will you actually type in the search box like I fucking told you to? Finding Nemo, 4K, right? Finding Nemo is 4K, CC, Pixar, Finding Nemo, buy or rent. I don't want to see it, I just want to see the remastered 4K, 60 FPS. Here, notice how the water looks a lot fucking better in the CG than it does here. This just looks like pretty much somebody took a blue window pane and added a bunch of stuff over the top of it. This actually looks like water. Do you see it? So, I don't know, a lot of different color changes here and stuff. So if he doesn't understand why this would look better, I can't help him, And this is the problem with these people who, like I have an old saying that I say on my stream a lot, which is "Lord, deliver me" from 2004. And these people, they just want to take a time capsule. But there was this hilarious episode of Parks and Rec about this, where all these people would just want to go back to the 80s or the 90s, back exactly to about 1979, when they were like 17 years old and they just got their first handy from their girlfriend before the prom or whatever, and The Little Mermaid just came out or whatever, and that's the first movie they ever saw after their first handy, so that's why they remember it with this like glowing like fucking thing, because this was their heyday, right? This was when they were like 17 and getting handies and going to high school, and they were prom king, getting blowjobs and drinking beer and having fun, smoking weed and looking like this, right? Well, I've always loved this. Matthew McConaughey, or no, what am I? Dazed and Confused, right? Got a joint? Be a lot cooler if you did. You'd be a lot cooler if you did. You got a joint, man? And he's like, no. And then and immediately Matthew McConaughey like disses him. He's like, you'd be a lot fucking cooler if you did. And that's how I used to treat people in high school. Like Matthew McConaughey. Because I was raised by television. And it works. It works. You make comments like that to girls. You're like, you got a joint rolled for me? And she's like, I'm not your girlfriend. And it's like, what? You don't have a joint roll for me? And they're like, no. And you're like, man, you'd be a lot fucking cooler if you did. And that's how you break ice. Dun, 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 dun.
Hey,
dun, 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 dun.
Hey man, who's calling?
Hey man.
You know Wooderson? How's it going, man?
You know what I'm saying? So, back when Little Mermaid was big, these people were getting laid on their prom night in Dazed and Confused. So when they think of The Little Mermaid, they think of the handy they got before the prom and The Little Mermaid afterwards or whatever, right? Where they like banged in the theater because there was no one there but them. I've done that. You ever banged in a theater when there was no one in there? I have. I remember the movie too. It was disgusting. It was disgusting. There was this horrible ass fucking movie called Jersey Girl. And it, I don't know. Anyways, Jersey Girl, really fucking horrible. So to just get out of the movie, we just started fucking in the theater. Because I worked there, and I knew that no one was going to come. And we were like in a like, because they just run the movies all day sometimes, like to keep the reels going or whatever it is. We just watch movies like all day sometimes, and no one would come in because nobody was buying tickets and shit. It was like a Thursday, and it was like 5 p.m. and it was a crappy movie, and And so yeah, I remember banging during Jersey Girl for like an hour of it, trying to make it end because we had nowhere to go until our ride afterwards. So we just fucked during Jersey Girl for like an hour in the movie theater in the back where we could see if anybody came first and just like get her off me in time, you know. And like that, like those are the days, right? So that memory, right? I want to go back to it, sure. I want to go back to banging Jessica in the fucking theater, you know? I really do, but it won't happen, and I don't need it to anymore. I love the idea, sure, but I'm not fucking 17 or what anymore, and I'm not, you know, I'm not in the movie theater fucking my girlfriend during Jersey Girl, and I don't need to go back to those places, but these people do, which is why remaster happens. And it's like, if you don't know why this water wouldn't be better, I can't help you. It sucks, but I mean...
Issues or plot points needed fixing, so they're just going down the road of doing the same story, but with less creative visual direction. We all know the plot by now. Ariel is a mermaid with an interest in the surface world, but isn't allowed to explore it due to her overbearing father.
I always thought, what good is she? She doesn't have... No, never mind.
Eventually, she makes a deal with the sea witch Ursula to become human.
I seriously thought that when I was 5 years old. I was like, what good is this girl? And that's such a horrible, fucked up thought, but I mean, she's got a fishtail. I mean, you know... it was like early furryism, and it still sort of turns me off. It turned me off back then. I was like, I can't get attracted to this girl when I'm like 5, and trust me, the little boys want to have sex with all the princesses too, or whatever, you know, or whatever, be with the princesses too, or whatever. So it's like when you're 5, you see this girl that you're supposed to be attracted to, your idea of a princess, and then you see the fishtail. And you're like, but mommy said that sex with animals is bad. And then you're like, this is weird. And so you don't really like The Little Mermaid very much because you're like, what the fuck, man? But, I mean, she's like this young, nubile teenage girl looking about 19 maybe. And she's like fucking got a fishtail. And she like goes around scantily clad. You know what it reminds me of is Jenna Bubbles talking about how Disney fucked her up. Let's go pull that up, like, real quick again. I love that video. It was very informative for me. I was like, Disney kind of fucked up me, too. You know, Disney kind of fucked me up, too. I suppose I should change the title of my videos here, guys. But I'm actually going to go to bed here after this video. So I'm just not even going to bother, because I'm going to shut the stream off here in, like, 5 minutes or something like that. I'm terribly sorry. It is my bedtime. It is 4:30 in the morning. And I have pulled, oh, God, all in all, collectively today, 15 hours and 30 minutes. And if you're ever a streamer, get used to counting your fucking minutes. You know what I'm saying? Because you'll lose track otherwise.
Pretty good. How's it going with you?
So we're not watching that anymore because it could also kind of get me in trouble, maybe. So, but
eventually she makes
this won't get me in trouble. That will, but this won't.
Ursula to become human.
Yeah, like I don't want to show Twitch movies. I'm just trying to show examples to provide content. You know.
Prince Eric to kiss her in 3 days before she turns back into a mermaid. The remake follows pretty much.
Also, another thing that I used to struggle with is all of these princesses always have a prince. So I was like, what good is it to me? And that's, you can see where the like even when I was 5, I believed that every girl I was ever going to fuck was a princess. And the clouds were going to rain money. And like and I'm going to be this dude. You know what I'm saying? At times in my life I was this dude. I was prom king. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but I also don't think I want to live up to this, and I don't think she wants to live up to that. And it's funny because the couple is really beautiful. I really love this story. I love a fucking good love story. Like, I really do. A lot more than war, anyways. And, but I also think, like, well, unavailable, you know? And I think, wow, we have, like, a generation of men raised on movies, and I know because I've been watching movies about videos about fucking Disney adults and shit. We have a bunch of generations of men and women raised by Disney with expectations that they possibly couldn't ever reach. And Jenna Marbles talked about this first, but on top of it, it's like hard coded into us now to believe that every princess is always like inherently taken. Do you see it? Almost every princess is always inherently taken by Princess Charming. And you can see it, Disney kind of programming this into a young boy. Like girls love to talk about what Disney did to them, but I never hear boys talking about what it did to my mentality. So when I see like a perfect 9 or 10 Disney princess type girl, I think, Where's Prince Charming? And I don't try. And I think this hurts dating. Because, you know, I'm just saying, see, here's another video I could do, is what Disney did to little boys, which is not a title I will use. Phrasing. But, you know, Disney, they portrayed princesses who always had, like, the Beast, whatever this dick's name is, that I could never possibly live up to, the way she can't, like the way the girl can't ever possibly live up to this either. And it's like, they all have one, Snow White, you know. And so you kind of assume that if it's a perfect 9 or a perfect 10, there's some Prince Charming lurking in the background that's rich and that you can't compete with or ever live up to and all this. And so you don't take the swings that you should take. But I never really had that issue. When I saw something I wanted, I just fucking told them. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's rare for me. So when it happens, I'm like, this is a blessing. We have chemistry, and I'll straight say it to her face. I'm like, this is a blessing. You know, we have chemistry. That's a good thing, because it's not that often for me. You know, like, it sucks, but it's like not that often for me. Like, one of the strong things that I always felt was kind of like good about like compatibility with some of the other women in my life is often they like personality more, and that's my thing too. I like personality more. I don't give a flying fuck about what her body looks like. I don't care a flying fuck if she's a drug addict. I don't give a flying fuck if she's crazy. Is she fun to be around? And can she stand my narcissism, or whatever you want to say? And can she stand my Asperger's, my video games, and my egomania? You know what I'm saying? And I don't push these things. One of the reasons why I was always okay doing dating and stuff, I did fine in the dating scene, and it did fine. I never had a bad relationship that ever descended into violence or any of that stuff. You know, so it's like, I feel like my relationships were fairly successful. And one of the reasons that I felt this way is because when I wanted something, I just went for it. And I think a lot of men struggle with this, and that's something I never really understood. A girl will know immediately, right away. They say inside of 3 seconds, a girl knows if she's going to sleep with you or not. And so that was my thing, is you got to kind of come up and like kind of tap the button a little bit. Like, ding, ding, ding. And she's like, ding, ding. And sometimes they're like, ding, ding, ding. You know?
Her in 3 days before she turns back into a mermaid. The remake follows pretty much the same plot, with some really infuriating changes, but we'll cross that bridge.
I don't really understand this. Wait, what are we actually looking at here? This is wait, now this is the original, then this is a book they did?
Pretty much the same plot, with some really infuriating...
Wait, no, I missed it.
Visual direction. We all know the plot by now. Ariel is a mermaid with an interest in the surface world, but isn't allowed to explore it due to her overbearing father. Eventually, she makes a deal with the sea witch Ursula to become human, and must get her love interest Prince Eric to kiss her in 3 days before she turns back into a mermaid. The remake follows pretty much the same plot.
Oh yeah, so it's like, fuck her while she has a vagina before you're a furry. Don't fuck her after she's a fish because she won't have a vagina anymore. Disney is furries. Disney made furries. Disney is furry. It was something I just didn't appreciate when I was a kid. Why is that beautiful young princess girl who's eligible hanging out with that fucking beast? Like a literal beast. And it's because Disney pushed bestiality and furries and all that shit on kids at a really young age. And I'm sorry, but I really do believe this.
With some really infuriating changes, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. First, the visuals.
Like, I had a friend who really, 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 really suspected that I hated furries. And it was an issue for him because he started out hating furries, but then he watched so much of the furry porn trying to attack furries on Reddit that he ended up turning into a furry, and then he had a self-hating problem with being a furry who hated being a furry. And so he was like, do you hate me because I'm a furry? And he was really scared that I wasn't going to be his friend anymore because he was a fucking furry. And this is not the only Rust player that I know and love who is a furry. You know what I'm saying? Who are male. And so I said, and he's like, what are your thoughts on furry? And I was like, well, it's right down the street and around the corner, just enough from something that I do consider to be sick, such as bestiality, But it's not there yet, so it seems harmless to me and has nothing to do with what the community has thrown shade on it for. And I said I would take any furry on a case-by-case basis as I take anybody else. And if they want to ruin their lives with furryism and marriage and, you know, drug addiction or whatever, please let them. Don't ostracize them. Don't pariah them. You know, you quote the Bible at the judgmental people. You say the stone that the builder refused shall be the head cornerstone. And so that's the problem, and I'm going to break this down for the idiots because I'm not sure they know what it means. It means that when you reject someone for just their proclivities that you know nothing about, and you perform God's job, and you judge somebody without ever knowing anything about it or what their lives are like or what it is, and it's also just God's job, which you shouldn't do. That's sacrilege. You know, and all that shit about don't judge a book by its cover. Excuse me. And so. You know, this whole thing about judging a furry, I am absolutely unwilling to do. I will judge you on a case-by-case basis, and I'll say to my friend who I love, who I haven't seen in a year because we stopped playing Rust together, that, you know, I don't care who the fuck you are, as long as you don't touch animals in a sexual manner. I don't care if you draw pictures about it. I don't care if you talk about it. I don't care if you write fanfic about it. I don't care if you dress up like it. I don't care if you have orgies in hotels at cons with it. I don't care what you do. Everyone does that. Everyone does all of those things when they're in their crazy Ren Fair moods or whatever. Everyone does this in every community. Everybody, like, cuts off at Christmas and fucks each other or whatever. Everybody does this. There's nothing unique about furries. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, except for the fact that they might be treating people maybe worse than some other communities do, is what I've always heard. But I don't know. I don't know these people, and I don't like making that judgment about them because I don't know them. You know what I'm saying? And so when I told him, I kept a friend, right? I kept a friend when he had no other friends because he was like, really, you just don't care if I'm a furry. I'm like, well, it's right down the door from bestiality, but it's not in the door, is it? It's just theoretical now, is it? Are you ever going to touch an animal and have sex with an animal? And he was like, absolutely the fuck not. And I was like, yeah, no, if you had said maybe, I would have never spoken to you again. Or yes, I never would have spoken to you again. I would just hit the end on the Discord call and left right there. You know what I'm saying? But as long as you're not going to harm a fucking animal in real life or whatever the fuck, who the fuck cares what you do to humans in fucking suits? You know what I'm saying? And that was the whole thing about that. And I kept a friend. I kept two friends that way. I even had one friend who liked to send me furry porn, trying to shock me. And I was just like, well, I saw it once, and I just killed the image and left. And I was like, nope. And he was like, really? And he was like, that doesn't turn you on? She's beautiful. And I was like, nope. Sorry. And he was like, that's weird. And I was like, no, it's not weird, man. It's an animal. And he was like, what's wrong with that? It's got a humanoid body. And I was like, it's an animal, and that's where we could never meet, you know. But because I don't judge them, you know, to quote Yellow Wolf, because I say I try hard to respect people for what they're believing in, and I don't judge you like the government judged me for doing drugs and shit, try to throw me in jail for nonviolent drug offenses and shit like that. As long as you don't do it to me, I won't do it to you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a lot more judgmental of people like the Congress than I am, like, you know, furries. You know what I'm saying?
The animated version took the time to make underwater look colorful and appeal.
Congress kills people. Furries don't. What? I mean, they might. I'm sure there's been some furry killers, but there's been a killer in every single fucking known human identity or group or whatever you want to call it. Like any known human fucking profession or whatever. We have had killers. That it is not unique to some fucking community. AIDS is not unique to some community. All the stupid shit that the dumbass right wing told a bunch of idiots.
You feel more immersed in the film's atmosphere.
It's okay to hug a person with AIDS and all this other shit that, you know, you can just tell some bigoted right-wing guy said in the 80s that they all just took to heart right around 96 when the internet hit, you know.
In the remake, everything looks worn out and devoid and lacking in variety.
This came out?
All of the underwater scenes are lacking in vibrant color that made the original atmospheric. And
oh, so no, they didn't do the water well enough.
Striking. There's no unique.
No. Now the water looks real, But that doesn't impress me. I think the Little Nemo water is actually better. Oh well, I don't want to pull it back up.
Personality or stylization to any of the visuals displayed during these scenes. It's not even filmed impressively. The composition of each shot is uninventive.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that Disney flair that you would see out of something like Frozen or whatever. Like, The Little Mermaid really looks like a fantastical fairy tale at any given point of the movie. This looks like some kind of dark horror movie to me.
Moved of any real attempt to make the movie seem whimsical in spite of its fantasy setting. And
This looks scary to me, maybe, for a kid, honestly.
knowing this takes up at least half of the movie is really discouraging. Everything looks way too dark.
Yeah, this isn't looking so good to me. Like, it's kind of looking derivative of Pirates and stuff, and that's okay, but Pirates is okay being dark. That's like a preteen film. This is a film for 5-year-old little girls. And you're kind of making it look like Pirates, and I really don't want to terrify 5-year-old princess-obsessed little girls with pirate stuff.
A lot of it is
Pirates as in dark theme, you know?
heavy shadow.
Like violence and darkness and dark water and deep depth and David Jones' locker and dark vibes, and this appears almost noir to me in its darkness, kind of like some scenes in Pirates.
With not enough proper lighting to balance it out, making it difficult to even see stuff.
He's right. It's bled out and it's not a good color. It's not that kid color of blue that keeps it really light, kind of like Fortnite, like bled out. You know, bled out like Fortnite, very pastel. Little Mermaid was very pastel, and this is like horror movie dark.
Half the time. I guess it gets more colorful during
I mean, yeah.
scenes on the surface, but even then they're not as striking.
Is the music good? That's what I want to hear. I don't care about the fucking background. Was the music good enough? And that, because it's a musical, you know? All they do is sing. There's a few moments where she's like walking around and talking to the crab or whatever. But like overall, it's like mainly just a musical. So it's like, did they nail the music? Which I don't think they did. Because if you recall, we're 2 minutes and 22 seconds into the fucking video right now. But if we go to the start, he mentions... No. I want to hear. So I heard a rumor about Written in the Stars, Disney's Written in the Stars, which I want to go see. This is a Tiny Tempa song that I really, really love. Also, I think it's Kanye, I think, is on this one. But this was in, I forget which one, Aladdin, I believe. Yeah, it was like a Aladdin remake, right? Oh no, I'm getting it mixed up. Never mind. There was a sex scene in Written in the Stars. No, this isn't what I'm looking for. But supposedly there's a sex scene in Written in this in one of these Disney movies, which was like the community confirmed Disney sex scene scandal, I think is what I'm looking for, because I think there was a sex scene hidden in it's The Lion. Like all of us knew that said sex. All of us knew. It was weird. It was like, yep, sex. Yeah, I love that. But anyways, we've all seen that before. But yeah, apparently there was some nasty sex scene illusion in some Disney movie, inappropriate scenes. Let's see. This is an adult stream, so I don't want any kids in here and whatever. This isn't going to be titties, I don't think. It's Disney films, you know? It's not titties. It's something in appropriate.
Parents and adults may get as much fun out of Disney and Pixar movies as kids, but everyone assumes that the actual story...
So there's this really funny thing. So Disney was a furry, you know, and one of the things that we know about him, and I shit you not, one of the things that they had to go back and do is he really wanted the butthole on all the animals. And his argument about this was that all animals have buttholes, including humans. And when you look at an animal, you see their butthole in real life, and you don't think in proper thoughts, how is cartoons any different? So when I look at a deer, I kind of expect the butthole, or a horse or something. And you wouldn't really see the butthole, but you would kind of assume that under the horse's tail is the butthole. But other animals like have buttholes, like rabbits and stuff like that. And so and he talked about this back in the 50s. He was like, yeah, I really wanted buttholes on all of my fucking animals because it really makes them look like they aren't real if you don't. And this was construed as some kind of anal obsession by the public, And they talked about this in the rags and stuff. They were like, Disney had to edit out all the buttholes out of his Disney characters and stuff. But he originally put them in, and the MPAA or whoever would not let him do the animal buttholes. They just wouldn't. And on top of it, so he had to edit it all out. But true story, I believe. I mean, we'd have to pull it, I think. But I don't remember where I heard this. But it was like 15 years ago on a video or something. I remember this dude went into real great detail about how Disney really liked to draw the buttholes on the animals.
Stories and humor won't be anything too mature for you.
Which you can see why. Like look at the deer. So it's not like you need the butthole to be there, but it's kind of odd that it's not. It breaks it's like the uncanny valley thing. It breaks the reality of it. When you see a deer in real life and you're looking at its butt like that, one of the other things about Disney that I noticed is you do see a lot of butt shots all the time. There's all kinds of butt shots in Disney, and it's like, man, what was his obsession with butts? They're always on screen in all the Disney stuff. You can see it, like always butts on the screen, right in your face, right like that, right, like that Bambi scene right there. And so it brings up that whole topic I'm talking about with the buttholes, because he put the butts in our face all the time, And these weird showrunners are always fucking weird. There's another rumor about him that his protectors are trying to hide the fact that he froze his body. So they named Frozen, so that whenever you Google, I have another funny story about this. Whenever you Google Frozen, it actually brings up Frozen instead of, fucking like Walt Disney's dead frozen body that's been cryogenically frozen, that's in there in Orlando, in a place where people live and stuff. Underneath that park is some kind of crazy Machiavellian DNA chamber where they cryogenically froze his fucking body in the hopes that they figured out the solution to, I guess, death. And the Simpsons made fun of this with a Mr. Burns joke, because it's real. And one wonders if they're sitting around trying to kick around the titles, and the PR manager who's been with Disney since he was back when he was alive, who's like 80, sits there and it's like, well, we really don't want them knowing that his body's under the fucking theme park, strictly not because of the reasons that you might think that it's just crazy and scary, but more that they don't want the kids thinking that there's a frozen dead body under the theme park. That might scar them, which is, I think, actually probably why they did it. It's bad PR. If all the kids know that place is a graveyard, it's a graveyard for Walt Disney. He's under there, And kids don't know this and never will, because sometimes kids just don't know things. Like, for instance, David Icke was talking on this video I watched today about how most of America has no idea that there was 3 buildings in 9/11. And almost everybody in America, and David Icke doesn't understand this, and I don't either. Something with what the media did, made it impossible for us to record the idea that a 3rd building burned that never had anything happen to it at all. But the only time I've ever heard Building 7 was during the initial few days that 9/11 happened, and then there was this rumor in the Zeitgeist movie about how they had burned down, they had controlled, demolished Building 7 because Enron's financial business records and a lot of other proof of credit card stuff and insurance stuff, as well as the insurance payment on the Building 7 building was $7 billion, I think, something like that, and it went to Prescott Bush, who is Baby Bush's grandfather, And another funny little crazy conspiracy theory, lunatic fringe thing that you can actually confirm, it's true, all of these things are true, I wouldn't say them, is, like if they're not true, I'll tell you that it's never been confirmed. But like these things have been confirmed, and so like and I'll leave all the conspiracy theory out of it. But like sometimes the truth is really a lot stranger than fiction. But Prescott Bush made what is true is Prescott Bush made bullets for the Nazis in the war. He ran an ammunition company, and some of those bullets ended up in Nazis' hands. They don't know why, and that's like he sold bullets to the enemy. And that's what I've always heard about him. But who the fuck knows? It's all conspiracy bullshit anyways. I don't want to follow all that stuff. I'm just saying what I heard about this,
I mean, the people
so,
actually making the movie just can't help themselves. Sliding in crude jokes.
Yeah, they can't. They're so bored with dealing with children's content all the time that they end up raping children. It's fucked up. That's what happened with John Kay. That's what happened with fucking, what's her name right now? Colleen lady for, Haters Back Off. They're eating her alive. Because they're all really afraid that if these showrunners hang around children for years, that they're going to rape children.
Adult gags that can't be unseen and are almost
and so cartoonists don't hang around children all day. They don't have to. They just like make movies, So like, there's no kids in their job, thank God. But they say that, they don't say, but I think the implication is, it's not confirmed, but the implication is if you work in children's television for like 20 years, you eventually become this like corrupt fucking pederast due to it. And that's kind of the implication here with this inappropriate scene stuff. And I know the content isn't very safe or good, but it's off color and I don't like it. But I mean, we're talking about Disney here.
Guaranteed to have older viewers laugh.
It's not like I went digging for like butt porn or something, It's Disney films we're talking about here.
And wondering how they could have ever missed them the first time around. In some cases, you won't even believe these scenes are actually part of the movies we bring our kids to.
Those eyes really look like breasts.
Here's a screen.
That is inappropriate. He is giving a lap dance to a princess, and like his crotch is pretty much like 3 inches from her hand, and it's evocative, and I don't want it to be. I'm just pointing out what he pointed out, and when I look at it, I'm like, yeah, I think it's funny, and I'm sure one of the things I dislike about this is I'm sure they only do this for like 3 seconds, so it doesn't matter. It's obviously not sexual. It could be construed as sexual. And I don't know why this lady in a fucking Disney film has such a nice rack, but okay. And they really seem like they want you to kind of look at it, don't they? Because the cleavage is like fairly slutty. That, like, I bet the MPAA had to rate this whole bra situation here. Not that I'm saying it's bad. I don't care about women and their bodies. I'm not stuck up with taboos and stupid shit like right wingers, I'm talking about like the MPAA probably had to look at this pair of tits to determine if the cleavage was too much or not, because this is sort of racy for even like a television show, kind of. And they put it in a Disney movie, which I don't really understand. It's like they blatantly want the Disney dads to lust after this princess's tits. But the problem with this is she's often underage. She's often taken. She's often, like, just totally caught up in the story, and that's just not, it's just not really, like, it's just weird. The energy shouldn't be that. But it feels like the animator made it about that. Like, it seems like sex plays a role in this scene, doesn't it? It kind of does. There's an empty fucking, or this huge, big Buddha belly, and he's got his arms open, which is like a sexual fucking thing. When you're like, hey baby, my body is totally open. You're not on guard. You don't have your arms in front of you or on your sides where you can guard if you need to or any of this stuff. It's a fighting thing that he's doing. It's like, hey baby, while you're at it. And I don't know why this is in a Disney film when you look at it.
10 inappropriate scenes in Disney films. Toy Story 3.
Oh no. It's the potato head, which was sexual and really wrong.
There are some adult jokes that go over kids' heads. And then there are the ones that are subtle enough to even be missed by parents. In Toy Story 3, the gang learns just how rude the villain Lotso really is when he pulls off the mouth of Mrs. Potato Head.
And that's all. I'm going to skip right past this content because it's too racy. We're just going to skip past it.
The Greek hero took a different approach to designing mythical creatures, and the centaur stands out as a particularly odd one. Not only
Why?
does his entire head seem modeled after a part of the male anatomy.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's one testicle with a lot of hair, a boner, and a butt. Do you see it? And we would have to flip it upside down, but there's the butt. There's the butt crack. You see it? It's an upside down crotch, and his mouth is both a vagina. See it? And like a sperm and a phallus and ribbed. See it? And black tip and stuff. And then there's like the whole hanging ball with the speckled ball fucking color on it and the hair. And it really, if you look at it the right way, it pretty much is a huge throbbing fucking member.
But when Hercules sends the beast skyward, he lands hard, resulting in a massive bruise swelling on the top of his head. If the suggestive shape of his skull passes any viewers by, his knobby brow and massive lump show that Disney's...
Yeah, that's an incredibly sexual face, and I don't want to see it anymore. I'm just going to get off it.
When Linguini is finally forced to admit it's his pet rat who's cooking award-winning food and not him, he lets his romantic interest Colette in on the secret. But when trying to explain...
I love this movie.
...the tiny little truth he...
I want to watch this movie tonight, but I don't know what my Disney password is. I don't want to go look for it.
Hiding, it's impossible to miss Colette's grimace and quick glance below Linguini's waist. It's a joke aimed squarely at older fans, and is subtle enough to sneak by without offending anyone. Without offending enough to sneak at older fans, and is waist. It's a joke aimed squarely quick glance below Linguini's waist. It's a joke aimed squarely at to miss Colette's grimace and quick glance below Linguini's waist. It's a joke aimed squarely at older fans, and is subtle enough to sneak by without offending anyone.
Yeah, it was a dick joke, but it was an appropriate one that even a 4-year-old could, you know. It's an anatomy joke. It's not a sex joke.
Bambi. That's right, even back in 1942, Disney was slipping some sly adult humor into family entertainment. Although Bambi is the star of the show, his good friend Flower the skunk is just as memorable.
Yeah, I always wondered about Flower. I was like, look how fucking slutty Flower is.
Although Bambi,
like, if you really notice it.
Is the star of the show.
Like, if you look at it from like a weird perspective, like now watch her simper. There's a word for this. It's called simper. Watch Flower the skunk fucking simper like an anime girl. Watch it.
Skunk is
hee hee. Look at that. It's an anime pose, isn't it? It's like a young girl about to have. I mean, I'm being inappropriate.
Just as memorable. When Flower first runs into Bluebell, the pair share a kiss that renders him completely frozen. It's a cute and harmless joke.
But it's a dick joke.
Once people realize a kiss made Flower flush with blood and grow as stiff as a board.
It's a dick joke. They did this all the time in the back. They used to have the characters go erect all the time and go stiff as a board when they have, like, I would say orgasm moments. Something happens so good or something that they're stunned like this. And this was a reoccurring thing that happened in not only Disney but fucking Warner Brother cartoons, where they would go stiff as a board like this when they get their mimes blown or their socks blown or something like this, and they're in love. Usually it's when, like, you know, it's like sprung. I think it's where the initial fucking like the word sprung came from. Is when back in the day when cartoon characters go head over heels in love, their hearts would go beating out of their chests, and they would go rigid like this, and they would blush, which is like a fucking puritanical way of letting another person know that they're attracted to you, I guess. Which is what Disney had to do with with young attraction for young viewers and stuff. So they can't show like the sexual attraction because that's inappropriate for a kids movie, of course. So they do this weird fucking blood engorged member, like rigid cock thing instead, which is so much more blatantly loud with it. But also, keep in mind, this is like a 3-second bit. It's not like we're staring at it for 10 minutes like we are right now. So in the movie, it's like...
It was obvious the animators were...
This is a very, very, very evocative opium scene with a lot of poppies and a lot of opium led up out. This is an opium smoker's dream. I wonder if Walt Disney was an opium smoker, because this is something out of a Japanese print during the opiate age of Edo, not Edo, but it would have been I believe it would have been Edo period Japan, right? You would see these prints that would show up in Europe on boxes, and on the boxes you would see beautiful imagery like this, evocative of certain things like poppies, golden lotuses, plants, stuff like that, flowers, things like that. And they and because the Japanese sent these prints on ships over to the Europe on their cargo, it wasn't even like the artwork was very important. Just the Japanese were such art-based people that they would paint pictures on their cargo to sell to the European white boys who came over and bought shit. And so the European white boys go back to the European hood, and they're like, hey, we got these cargoes and stuff. And in the ports, the artists were inspired by these prints that were on the side of the shipping containers. And this is the birth of modern Impressionism. And you will see stuff like this inspired by, I forget who this is. I don't know who the artist of this is. It's I don't even know. Farewell Danger by who? I mean, Leonid. Leonid. So this is a modern impressionist artist who's alive, who's very skilled. Look at that. That is beautiful. It's all brushstrokes, but boy, doesn't it look like a fucking robe with beautiful lights and stuff. I mean, it's all brushstrokes though. All of it, which is so cool. So anyways, we go back and we look at some modern impressionist art and kind of the history of it. Oh no, I'm sorry. This was not what I was looking for. I was looking for the Wikipedia of modern impressionist art, but I don't think I'm going to be able to pull that without some, what's the word, disambiguation. So, anyways, Monet is the standard guy that you go to for this. Monet or Escher or, modern Impressionism. I can't remember all the modern Impressionism artists, right? Were like Monet, Renoir, Pissarro, Cézanne, Manet, and Van Gogh. Van Gogh is the other big one, right? So this is a very evocative, now Van Gogh flowers will look like this. Here would be a better example, right? So here's an example of floral keepsake stuff, note cards and stuff. But if you see this image here, you'll see kind of the evocative thing going on here with the flowers. These are poppies, and the way the skunk is very carefree out in the field. It's actually a very, very, very hidden opioid dream done for adults. It's a drug reference, and a very, 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 very loud one. And on top of it, this is not the only time they have ever done this. When Dumbo falls in a barrel of liquor, we get the pink elephants. And this is a straight up fever dream from an opioid addict, which is what I fear Disney was. And so we'll go pull that. This has always been kind of a controversial scene. It's like Dumbo, pink elephant scene. This scared a lot of kids because kids wouldn't really know. This is a straight up. It's not LSD, which is what probably what everybody thought it was. And I mean, it was the 70s, and I'm sure psychedelia had an influence on these artists and stuff. But it was mostly opium. Only an opium artist would ever draw stuff like this. And notice how it looks like smoke. Because opium artists will sit there and puff a pipe for 50 years and do nothing at all. They'll lie down and they'll sit there for 50 years in Asia, places like that. I hate to say it, but it's true. They'll sit there and they'll lie in an opium den for 50 years, and they'll draw whatever they see because they can't move. Which is where you get these. They can't move. It's opium. It's heroin. It's opioids. It's you know, it's straight up fucking heroin. Basically, it's like smoking heroin. So they just lie around, and I mean, humans have been, like, people thought I was so bad for smoking heroin, but honestly, humans have been smoking fucking heroin for 200,000 fucking years. The only time we've ever said a word about it even was like 1890. That's only been about a 100-year thing where we thought heroin was bad. Heroin was always available to any old housewife since the dawn of man. You know what I'm saying? Or with some form of it. Opioids have always been an over-the-counter thing for tens of thousands of millennia years. The only time that it's ever not been was when the fascists took over and used it as a reason to attack us and put us in jail and, you know, build more law and order and do all their fascist pig stuff. But in reality, mankind has been smoking heroin since the dawn of man. Just like they've been buying women and men. Just like they've been doing all the naughty things that the Bible tells you not to do. So this is a fevered opium dream. It's not a drunk, right? They say in the story, Dumbo falls in like a bucket of liquor that the fucking like crooked what's the word crooked, what do they call those, carny folk? I forget, there's a word for them, but I can't think of it. Carny folk. and so this crooked carny folk has like as I recall, I haven't seen this movie in a long time, but I think I remember the scene when I was a kid fucked me up, because I was like, is this what drugs and alcohol are like? Because if it is, I want my life to be this permanently forever. And I wonder sometimes if Disney might have kind of turned me into a fucking addict, sort of, sometimes. Because this was a very formative scene for me. These pink fucking elephants, I was like, if that's what drugs and liquor are, they must be so fucking good. I hate to say it, but I really do. This scene, it really makes me want to smoke methamphetamine. Really bad. And heroin. And cocaine, and all of it. Smoke anything. I don't give a flying fuck what it is. Banana peels. I don't give a flying fuck. Marijuana. Here, have some marijuana, right? Because I see this, and it just it evokes this, like, childhood salivation for drugs in me. And that's how I know that they programmed a bunch of fucking children with this to be like heroin addicts, basically. Because it's like, this shit was like, for a child, this is so outside the realm of their reality. Seeing pink elephants and shit like this, you better have a fever of 103, and that's not good either. So this was very not appropriate for kids, really. It's very dark, black scene with dark kind of druggy purple that you would see on like a pill bottle or the side of a pill, He's wasted, and this is a kids movie, and I knew this was inappropriate the first time I saw it, and it's still inappropriate now. I was like, why is this when I was like 5. When I was 5, I was like, Mommy, what's wrong with that elephant? And she's like, he's drunk, honey. And I was like, what's drunk? And she was like, when humans do too much alcohol, they get very drunk. And she had to tell me what alcohol was because of this scene. And I was like, it looks really fucking fun. He looks really happy. And she was like, you mustn't ever touch drugs and alcohol. And I was like, why? It looks amazing. This looks amazing. If this is what drugs do to you, I'm doing them. Here's another video. Did Disney make me a drug addict? I'm kidding. But I mean, like, I know how to get hits, and that's it. Did Disney make me a drug addict? Dude, the pink elephants, if you get drunk, the pink elephants are gonna show up and start fucking playing their nose like some kind of fucking trombone with this like wonderful fucking like royal music that like they used in Robin Hood to dictate the royal fucking arrivalship of an awesome time. You know what I'm saying? It looks like an awesome fucking time. I thought scenes in, what's it called? Nightmare Before Christmas also were like this. There were scenes when they're fighting Boogeyman where there's like all kinds of gambling and like drinking and darkness and the kids, there's like this implication that the kids have been kidnapped and they're under assault by a fucking boogeyman and all this adult stuff that's going on in the background that you're like really scared to see when you're like 6 years old. You're like, oh my god, the stars of the fucking film basically have been fucking abducted by a boogeyman in the base of a fucking graveyard and he's about to have his way with them as he does this like raucous fucking, drunken New Orleans, like, poor quarter fucking, like, shebang of a heroin drunken, song. And everybody's about to fuck or something, but it's all children or whatever. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? Even at the age of 5, you're like, why am I being shown this really adult thing that makes me want to ask my mommy a lot of really uncomfortable questions that I'm not going to ask her? I'm just going to go to a dictionary and a fucking encyclopedia and find out for myself. And so I went and figured out what being drunk and what alcohol meant and what heroin was and opium and all this stuff. Because I was like, what the fuck is this shit? And she was like, you'll find out when you're an adult, Wait till you're older. And I'm like, nah, man, I don't know, man. Why they put it they put it in a children's film though. Why can't I ask now? It's content in a children's film. Why can't you tell me what sex is? It's just so weird. It's like all throughout Warner Brothers, they basically anally probe each other quite violently, and I say that in that particular phrase because it's disgusting what I'm talking about, but constantly all throughout Warner Brothers is essentially dudes getting stuff shoved up their cartoon butts. And I'm sorry, but like, even as a kid, I was like, what is this sometimes? I'm like, this is gross. I was like, this is what happens when you drink and smoke meth or whatever your fucking, or opium or whatever the fuck. This is what happens? And yeah, it pretty much is. If you do acid, yes, this is what it's like, yes. So it's like, yeah, bring it on, motherfucker, all my life, bring it on. This is what it's like to not have to, like, worry about the fact that I'm Dumbo and something really bad is happening, whatever the fucking storyline of Dumbo is. He's gonna get taken away from the circus or whatever. I forget what the storyline of Dumbo is. But, like, whatever darkness in the background of Dumbo's world, do you see the fucking evocative imagery here? Whatever the darkness is of Dumbo's background or whatever, the pretty purples and yellows will come out and start dancing for you if you get drunk. And I'm not the only one. This pink elephants thing, this was something that cartoonists used to use as really strong evocative imagery. It would be bubbles popping and pink elephants for somebody who was 3 sheets to the wind. Somebody who drank way too much. So that children can understand the plot point that Captain... there's this really wonderful scene that I always really loved at the start of Rin Tin Tin when Captain Rin Tin... when poor Rin Tin, or I'm sorry, not poor Rin Tin, but Rin Tin Tin comes home to find the captain drunk, and he thinks, and the captain proceeds to tell him a story about one of his ancestors, which leads to a really wonderful journey. And I always really loved the sense of like adventure in Rin Tin Tin, like what might spark off a journey to the moon might be that you come home to your friend's apartment that night, and it turns out that he's drunk. So you ask him why he's so drunk, and he says, somebody attacked me and shoved a bottle in my mouth and forced me to drink an entire bottle of whiskey. And Rin Tin Tin's like, really? And yeah.
Going up for a quick
Is this it? I don't think this is it. I don't want to get trademarked very long. I'm just looking for the particular 3-second scene that I'm talking about. This was very formative for me. The idea of the captain being abducted. I saw this when I read it when I was like 7, and I saw the show when I was like 10 or something like that. And so in this scene in Adventures of Tintin, which was a 3-season show that I have, that's really wonderful. It's like one of the greatest shows of all time. It's up there with Batman the Animated Series and stuff. And so the Adventures of Tintin. I'm sorry, I should have changed my title, but I'm gonna log. I swear to God. The Adventures of Tintin, like the second or first or second episode, pretty much sparking off the entire series. He comes home drunk to the captain, who tells him a story about what happened to his ancestor at a battle in the sea, and a ship in a bottle that had been recovered from this ship that had crashed. You can see stuff from it like here from the movie, right? And but understanding what a drunk man actually acts like when he's 3 sheets to the wind at the age of 7 was extremely formative for me. And I was like, that looks extremely fun. And I now believe that a lot of cartoons and a lot of like stuff, I'm not saying that it's nefarious. I don't know how they address plot points that are just naturally that way because like it's needed to be that way. I don't know how they, sometimes rape does occur, sometimes murder does occur. So like, remember, my favorite image of all time is actually Frozen. Right? And I will cry when I see this in Frozen 1. They tell this story about the death scene in Frozen and stuff, and we're not going to watch this for very long. I'm looking for one scene, right? There's this scene where Disney's so good at this shit, but this fucked me up when I first saw it. There's this scene where you see the ship, and then you don't. And I guarantee this fucked up an entire fucking generation. And I'm not so sure death belongs in our children's stories. And I shed a tear as I said I would, because this shit hits my empathy the wrong way. I've got a dead parent, and I know I like long dead, and I know what that's like when you look up one day and they're just not there anymore. And how do you describe to children how death can wreck you without telling them what death is, and so they go home and go, Mommy, what happened when the ship went away? And Mommy doesn't have the fucking heart to tell them what happened. They're gonna have to fucking come to that on their own. So all this stuff, it has a cost. It has a psychological cost. So now that we've watched 3 seconds of Disney, we will move on before I catch a trademark, because I am on YouTube. And yeah. So then we're 2:22, I believe.
With no imagination behind any of it. And it's not like Disney is incapable of good CGI. This is the same company that gave us Davy Jones from Dead Man's Chest in 2006.
I didn't think Davy Jones was very good. I thought it was fugly.
There is no excuse for these special effects to be worse than something that came out roughly 17 years ago.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Okay, see, even now, they're doing it with movies. They're doing the video game thing where they fucking spoon feed you. I was listening to this guy complain about live service, and he was like, here's what they do. Here's what they do. They give you little pieces of a game, and they make it suck dick at launch, and they feed you slowly with updates and patches and stuff, and there's always something that they can fix that they don't until the game's about to die. So it's like insurance for the game's lifespan, and right before the game's about to die, because it's fucking horseshit, like how New World is about now, I suspect they're about to finally let go their big surprise or whatever, and it's all geared to just take our money and provide basically garbage games. And I think he's right. I think he's actually right about that.
Ago. And then there's the acting, which...
And the movies are doing no better. Why would CGI from Pirates from 15 years ago look better than CGI from Little Mermaid in 2023? Don't we have? I'm sorry, but it's going to come across as racist. I guess I just won't make the delineation. But we have quite a lot of Eastern talent, and I'll leave it. I don't care to be. I'm not trying to be racist. I'm trying to do this as respectful as we can. But we all know that the CGI gods are Eastern in origin. They came up with the tech in the first fucking place. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we come to expect something after 15 years of growth in an industry that we don't see because you're cash grabbing us. You're cash grabbing our kids. And it's like, what?
Big Shock is terrible. Everything about the line deliveries and facial body language is downright emotionless and tired. Like they're completely...
Yeah, and I that's all I need to watch of this. That's all I need to watch of this. So on this note, guys, I'm going to remind you that you have been watching Skycat Live. Thank you so much for talking with me about Impressionist art. What did we cover today? We did an hour-long video on YouTube. I love closing down the fucking 17-hour day or whatever it is, 14, 15, 17-hour day with this, right? What did we do today? We took 6 hours to record a 1-hour video on YouTube, which is represented here. If you guys want more content after I'm done, there is a video live that went live today in my library titled, and I'll steer you to that if you want more of my content, which is Dear Live Services, One-Shots and Backfill. Why? And you can find this by just coming to Skycat. Some of you guys, I do see you on YouTube, by the way. It's good to see some YouTube people. I know I haven't been there for 10 months, but I mean, YouTube will fuck me for trademarks, so I mean, it's a worthless service. I don't really want to be on YouTube very much if I can help it, because it prevents me from listening to music ever. And I just refuse to let a corporation take over my life in a way where I can't listen to music ever because of my job choice. I just won't do that. I just won't be on YouTube. So on days like this, on like days that are kind of off and stuff like Sunday nights and Wednesday nights and shit like that, I will be on YouTube. But on Fridays and Saturday nights, I will be on Twitch and Kick only, as I do more adult sort of kind of games and more music, mostly music. So, and I do trademark infringement on Twitch and Kick because they don't care, but YouTube and Facebook absolutely do. So I have lost quite a lot of my Facebook and YouTube crowd that I knew used to come in loyally, and I want to thank you for the loyalty here from my YouTube people. And I know that I'm leaving probably too early, even though it's been 16 hours or whatever the fuck it's been. But understand that, you know, there is another whole hour of content that I made today that's like the best content I've ever did here, and I'll steer you to my video if you're looking for more. If you're looking for more, it's good. It's like it's professionally written and professionally not edited at all. It's not edited. It's uncut and girthy. But yeah, it's an hour long, and it's great content about one-shots and backfills. And these are things in the shooter scenes that are really like pretty bad fucking us. So if you care to catch some more content after I leave here in just a minute, that you can do it there. The Skycat.live is ew, what? My website is down. Okay. Yeah, I guess I thought we set this up to autopay, but I guess we didn't. My website is down, which is unfortunate. What do you mean isn't connected to a website yet? What does that mean? Okay, I don't know. But anyways, I'll figure out that. But anyways, normally my info is skycat.live. And if you wish to donate, that is where you can do it. But apparently I forgot to pay my monthly for Wix. So it is down currently today, and I'm terribly sorry. So there is no way that you can reach me, as I'm not an affiliate of YouTube or Twitch, unless you want to come subscribe on Twitch, or subscribe on Twitch. But I don't get a lot of subscribes on Twitch, and I understand if you don't want to. It's okay. The rest of it is good. What did I do today? I cut an hour-long video, which is represented there. I cut another few-minute video for a friend of mine. I covered... what did I cover today? What did I play today? I forget what I played today. It was Fortnite. I did 3 hours of Fortnite no build this afternoon after I did 6 hours of recording a video after I walked for 2 hours in the sun and did chores and stuff and errands. And then after I did the Fortnite, I went to the New World and talked all night until 5 in the morning. And it was a really great session. I want to thank you guys. I do see a viewership of about 10 here, and I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much across all the different platforms. I love you guys. Thank you so much, and I will catch you later tonight. Thank you for hanging with me. Thank you for paying attention to me, even though I don't pay attention to you. I love you.